he gonna play?
I don't know. That's Nathan Fillion, John Cena, Idris Elba, Peter Capaldi.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Idris, I can see.
Yeah, John Cena's a funny one too, though.
This is a list of what is that? 6 by 4, 24.
Like, what
24
is the
people.
original? Is the original crew gonna be back for it? Is this a sequel?
Will Smith is not on this one. That's
Weird.
the only person I know by name.
How are they having
being on the original
Suicide
crew.
Squad and not have Deadshot?
Well, so it's called The Suicide Squad,
Oh, okay.
and I think it might be a
Oh.
reboot because they're like, the directing was horrible. Let's
Right.
actually do it with James Gunn. Oh, Sean Gunn is in it. I'm assuming it's related to James Gunn. A different Joaquin. A Borg. Pete Davidson. Jennifer Holland. This is like, a lot of these just sound like discount
Uh-huh.
other people.
Like instead of Tom Holland, Jennifer Holland.
Yeah, instead of the Joaquin Phoenix, it's Joaquin Cosio.
Did we want to record individually, or did you want me to record on my side?
I could do either or. Whatever's easier for you.
How's your upload speed? Is my question.
Me?
Mm-hmm. We've been having some funny issues with like people will record it and they'll download it into like a WAV format and then start uploading it and it takes like 12 hours. It's like Jesus.
I export to MP3.
That's also fine.
Cool.
WAV is just easier because it captures. God damn it! Where did that go? It's more. Then, it's like a more raw format.
Yeah, the wave takes forever.
Yeah,
that's why I export to MP3. So it's like done. I don't have to sit there waiting for it for hours.
Cool.
That is fine. We can do that as well. Let me see.
Yeah. Or you can do your side. Like whichever ends up being the easier side for you to do whatever you do with.
Up to you, Blue. I'm gonna go grab more coffee.
Okay.
It ain't shit. What? 100% pain? It ain't shit. Whoa. No, it ain't shit. What? 100% pain?
Oh no! I need that back. Come back. That.
Kevin Smith wants Nathan Fillion for the Green Lantern. And so he would be the Green Lantern in the Suicide Squad.
Oh my god, that would be interesting.
What do
is Taika Waititi the Thor guy?
I'm not sure.
Do you have music playing for them to hear?
Oh yeah, there was a few clips.
Ah, gotcha. Because they're like, what is this?
Yeah, the director of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
in the Suicide Squad.
I thought that was Gunn though. Wasn't Gunn the director of Ragnarok?
No, Gunn was Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I thought he did Ragnarok too.
I mean, they might have worked together.
Oh, fair enough.
But it was definitely Taika Waititi that.
Because I know Gunn was. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I thought that was. Yeah, that's right. Because he was the one that did the cameo, wasn't he?
I'm not sure at all.
I want to say he was the one of them either Gunn or hang on.
Hashtag. Pew, pew. Thank you for the sub. Chew.
Oh, is it live?
Yeah. Taika Waititi is the guy who did the voice for Korg. So like,
so he was the director, and he also had a minor.
Yeah, so Korg, so like the entire, which was funny because the entire scene where they're talking about the weapons over the weapon rack, that was completely ad-libbed between the two of them during the casting.
Yeah, the audio is live.
Well,
I don't know if Blue mentioned that. The only reason I can tell is because the chat's talking about what we're talking about now.
Spoiler,
Slither,
spoiler! If you don't want to know who Nathan Fillion is probably going to play in Suicide Squad, it's Green Lantern.
You know, that actually kind of fits, though.
It depends on which one he plays.
I think it's obvious.
Yeah. I doubt he's going to do Guy Gardner, because that would be weird.
Oh, come on. That would be... No.
In this political climate.
Yeah,
right?
Well, that's...
Also give him red hair.
Fair enough. That would be fair enough.
He played Hal in the Green Lantern cartoon. Yeah.
John Cena's going to be the Peacemaker.
Is Cena... I mean, Cena's been getting into acting at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has.
It's not...
Oh, they're going to do Captain Boomerang.
Who's the one that doesn't understand puns in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Drax.
Yeah,
Drax. Because like he was just a wrestler. He had no like real acting experience, but he did so well.
Oh my god!
It almost feels like they're like, yes, amazing. More wrestlers. Put all the wrestlers in comic movies. They do good.
Dwayne Johnson. You have Cena that's now doing it. You have whatever the guy who did Drax, because he was in something else that was actually really good.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Bautista.
That's
the best. The best thing about like Bautista is like he has no tact. So like if he thinks of something, he's just like, no, this is what I think. And it's like, oh my god, you're so refreshing to like listen to, because he's just like, I don't fucking care. This is my thoughts. And because like the whole thing with
Drax.
The whole thing with Gunn getting axed because of the drama around the Twitter thing. Bautista was the one that led the whole thing of like, we're getting signed and we're not going to come back until you get Gunn back. Like he was the one that was like, no, that's not acceptable.
Yeah, I agree with Pens that Dwayne Johnson has amazing comedic timing. He's a fantastic actor.
Did you see the quip that he made about what's this, the Kevin Hart? Went to the doctor. He's like, oh no, he's fine. I checked with the pediatrician.
Oh my gosh. They go back and forth.
God, that is mean. Kevin Hart got hurt, man.
I mean, Kevin Hart is tiny. Like he is like the shortest freaking comedian out there, it seems.
He's
maybe
up
except
there.
for Amy Cho. She's
she's very tiny. Like she's just tiny in general though. Like I don't know if how short is she's not that short, is she?
I'm trying to remember. The last time I saw her on anything was on
Go
The Masked
Google
Singer. Thank you, Nimbus. If I have time to look at it, I like to watch it, I will watch it. But lately it's been between the new job and the old job and FFC and trying to decompress by playing video games. It's been a pretty full last 2 weeks.
Guardian.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Also, Quantum.
Wow, there is really no crossover between Doctor Who fans and DC fans, apparently.
Really?
Because I searched Peter Capaldi and it's like Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi suicide, Peter Capaldi Doctor Who. Like it's not. It is not suggesting Suicide Squad.
Is Capaldi going to be in it?
Yeah, he's one of the confirmed lists.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I do see him. Oh no, that's gonna be interesting.
Okay. So
the attack eyebrows.
I just didn't know their names. But there is original cast back in it. It's just Will Smith is not back in it.
I see.
Oh, that's right, because Rooker's here.
Yeah, Kinnaman.
Yeah, he's
or Margaret.
Which one?
I think it's Margaret. Margaret Robbie.
Oh yeah. Margaret Robbie. She's coming back as Harley Quinn.
Oh my God, Shaggy. They're saying Kevin Smith had to stand closer to the camera during the wedding pictures. Oh my God. Quick top 3 comedy duos. Oh Lord. That could be a good topic, though. I'll put that on the list.
I'll have to say that Johnson and Hart in the new Jumanji takes have been freaking. They're freaking hilarious.
They're pretty good friends in real life, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they because
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, because they egg each other on all the time. But they just did the Fast and Furious one. Hart had a part to play in that, I think, because of Johnson. Like he was, I think he was a large part of like the different casting things, because I think his cousin was another one that it was in there. Like he had one of his family members come in for the part where they're in Hawaii. That's actually like a lot of his extended family.
Yeah, I know he likes to bring those people in. Because didn't he bring him into another movie?
Yeah, that guy is actually a wrestler as well. Interestingly enough, the guy who plays his brother, I think. I don't remember.
I was still looking up Suicide Squad stuff. What was that?
I know. I'm like,
that was Kevin Hart and.
That is right. Yeah. Wow. I forgot that he was in that.
Peter Capaldi was teased as being a bald character. Like entirely bald.
That would be weird.
To be fair, that's what they did with God, I just blanked on her name. The girl who played Amy Pond.
Cannot help you.
I'm blanking on her name now because I'm trying to remember.
I know, right? Yeah, she played Nebula in Galaxy.
Oh, gotcha.
She was like, she had long red hair.
Karen
Gillan, thank you. She came out and I want to say she actually shaved her head for that part. Like that wasn't a cap. That was actually, I want to say that she did that because it like everyone freaked out about it.
Huh. Who's bald?
Screwball. I just saw that. Kevin Hart has a small part in every movie he's in.
Well done.
Well
done.
Oh, Viola Davis is back. She was Amanda Waller in the first one too. Why is that name so familiar? Alice Braga. Oh, okay. Elysium and Repo Men. That's right.
Here's an actual list. Let's see. A lot of them are just unknown. Apparently 2 people are playing the Joker. Peter Capaldi is the bald Joker. There's 3 Jokers.
Really? Okay.
It's just theories.
Oh, gotcha.
Idris Elba is confirmed not to be Deadshot because that would be disrespecting Will Smith.
Okay.
Steve Agee is a Ratcatcher or King Shark.
Oh, King Shark. Okay, he's from Flash.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's really not much.
Jai is going to be Boomerang again.
Yeah. Yeah, if they're returning, they're returning.
Yeah.
David Chain Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man.
I don't, it sounds familiar, but I honestly don't remember anything about him.
This is a huge list of people, and it feels like it almost feels like they're just gonna do exactly what the first one did, where they're gonna give like a big intro to like 7 of these characters, and then the other like not what is it? Other 14 are just gonna die in the first 10 minutes.
Oh God.
Because this is too much. That's too many people.
See a movie, which means the general expectations will be bad, or it will be as you do.
All right. Let's close all the IMDb tabs.
Aww.
And then where did my Audacity go? There it is.
So
and green,
yeah.
I am good to go whenever you want to start the Audacity.
Cool. Are you ready, Anon?
I gotta open it.
Yeah, no worries. I just count down 3, 2, 1, click whenever we go and click on click. Just makes sense. And
Yeah, see,
Blue
good thing
needs
I
help
looked.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
If I didn't look, that would have you wouldn't have heard me.
All right.
All right, yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, click.
Huzzah.
All right. Huzzah. Starting the recording. That is going to
Time's
last
up, Guardian.
forever. Thank you for the bits, pens.
Yay,
All right.
thanks, Vince. And
clap.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Did Baxter do the clap thing at the end of your guys'
No, he
QLR?
didn't. No, he
Gosh,
didn't.
darn it. Dropping the ball.
Dropping the ball.
Well, everyone just left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of like,
Everyone's-
all right, we're done. Bye. And everyone just was like, I was like, all right,
Wow.
well, it's everyone's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It works. It sounded like it went really well when I was
It was
able to
fun.
hop in.
It was really fun, is what I mean. I don't know if it went well. We had fun.
It went horribly. It was really fun though.
I apparently don't. I'm terrible at overlay design, so Guardian was cut off the entire time.
Yeah.
Every time someone new came in the stream, they're like, "Do you know that you're cutting off someone?" I'm like, "Yes, I am fully aware of this. Thank you for the reminder every 30 seconds."
I mean, people are just trying to make sure.
No. It was just like, I was like, I got it. I know.
I was one of those people. It's fine. Just looking out for you. Just looking out for you. All right. So it's top 3 favorite things to do in a video game.
Yep, and I had the backup running too. So whenever you're ready.
Cool. Anon, you ready for this shiz?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Welcome to FFC Top 3, a show where we, your FFC hosts, count things down from 3 to number 1. Thank you, as always, for joining us this week. If you have a suggestion, the normal spiel comes out right now. It is the same as always. Hit us up on Twitter, in Discord, or even email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com with your suggestions for topics. This week, with our new little guest here, Anon Pig. I don't know if I would call him little. He's kind of a big thing at this point in the lore world.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about our top 3 favorite things to do in video games. So, Anon, the way this thing works, we go 3, everybody goes their 3s, everyone does their 2s, everyone does their 1s. I make Blue go first, guests go second, I finish it out, and it's just Peachy telling stories about our favorite things that we do in video games. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Blue, you're up. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is side quest. I think it pretty much answers itself.
Yeah,
like
just you.
side
Do you ever
quest.
finish
Like
the main quest?
it's no. Usually because by the time I get to the like first step of the, well, let me back up. It depends on the game. Like there's some games that I play that are like, no, you have to do this, and it's like, fine, I'll go do this, but then I want to come back and do this. Which is why I prefer Bethesda titles, because they're like, hey, here's the intro of like how to move and how to play and have fun.
AKA Fallout.
Yeah.
Elder
Well,
Scrolls.
Fallout 3. Oh man, Fallout 3. I don't think no, I did finish the main quest in Fallout 3. It took me like 2,000 hours, but I did eventually get around to finishing it. Because like I ran out of stuff to do. And I was like, oh, might well go finish this. And then that's when I got all the DLCs for free. And I was like, oh, hey, look, more stuff to do.
Nice.
But yeah, then Skyrim, I have never finished the main quest in Skyrim because I'm stubborn, first off. And second, I started playing before one of the final patches to the console game came out. And the patch that I missed, or that I was playing before, was the patch that fixed, there was a bug in the main quest where you accidentally could kill one of the primary quest givers early in the game, and it wouldn't rectify that, so you couldn't ever finish the second to last mission of the main story mission. And now I refuse, because I've put like 3,500 hours or 4,000 hours into that file, and I'm like, I'm not starting over. Like, that's just not going to happen.
So you've never beat the final dragon?
No.
You've
Oh, no.
never gone into
I
Valhalla
beat the final dragon. Is that the main quest? I thought the main quest was the whole Civil War. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay, so I beat the final dragon. I just haven't finished the Civil War quest. So like the
gotcha.
final fight between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. Like I've gotten to the point where you're supposed to, I think you have to get like with one of the generals to do something. Yeah, I killed that general like the second mission, like way back in the beginning of the game, and which is fine if you're on like the Stormcloak path. But there's like this one cross point where you have to have him alive to do something to him, and the game was like, oh, he's dead. But instead of recognizing that he's dead because of something, it's just like, yeah, well, you can't do that, so finish this mission that's never gonna get fit. I'm like, God bless it.
It fits your style anyway. You never want to finish that, right?
No, yeah, no. As long as I get to kill Thalmor, we're all good.
Just stand outside
of their emissary. Their embassy is now vacant. I have made sure of it.
I love that quest. That was one of my favorites. Anyway.
Yeah, that was one of the quests that I'm like, all right, I snuck through everything. I did everything I was supposed to, and then I turned around and I went back in and I was like, all of you are dying.
Just killed everything.
It was like, mission accomplished. Now we go clean house.
You had like the drunk guy who's like you're into the whole party.
And then you like, oh my gosh, yeah, that quest was actually really fun. That was actually a really fun one. But I will admit that I had more fun removing the threat of the Thalmor from Skyrim.
Genocide. So
it's not genocide if it's in defense.
Is it in defense when you're the agitator?
I'm defending. You
are standing outside of their embassy.
Listen, the Thalmor invaded the entirety of Skyrim.
And so you're
with
taking
a very,
it upon
very
yourself.
Yes, I am taking it upon myself. Look, have you ever seen Enemy at the Gates? Listen, this is how this works, okay? The Germans come in, we push them back. That's how this works. The Thalmor are worse than those people, and I hate Thalmor.
Oh, blue. And all right, Anon, what is your? I'm just gonna let it drop there because
I will defend my position.
Anon, what's your third favorite thing to do in a video game?
Probably like getting items to make whatever avatar I have look look however I want them to look, or to look. I guess.
So, like, what game is a good example of that for you?
I mean, obviously, Destiny's a great example. Like getting the armor, the shaders, the etc. that makes me look a certain way. Like in maybe like the Crash Nitro Racing, it's getting a different cart or getting a character skin. You know, just simple cosmetic stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, those I remember I'm gonna go back into Skyrim because that's where my second most amount of time I've spent into. Skyrim and like Oblivion and stuff like that. You always had those armor sets, like the glass armor sets or the what were they? Obsidian?
Mm-hmm.
That were just
Obsidian, and
the
then glass, and then Dragonbone in Skyrim.
Yeah, Dragonbone was interesting. I never got a Dragonbone set, but yeah, just kind of grinding to get those sets out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
always
glass armor was that was great armor.
So
Yeah,
what's
like-
your favorite Destiny armor set then?
I don't even know anymore. It used to very strongly be the Wrath of the Machine hunter set, basically just top to bottom that set. But now, I mean, I don't even know. I'm just really indecisive with it. I think when Shadowkeep comes out and the universal ornaments are a thing, I'm going to be wearing a lot more of the I think it's the Verdant Crown, the Eververse armor set from the whatever the spring event was. I really like that set.
Revelry?
I don't know, that new ornament gives you wings.
Well, that's for Titans.
That's true. It's the one time I've been jealous of a Titan.
I'm still not jealous of them.
That's fair. Well, yeah, you know what? You're also correct there too.
I mean, jealous of crayon eating Titans? What?
Apparently crayons give you wings.
Apparently. Also diarrhea, but that's a whole nother thing.
This is true.
So my number 3 is kind of similar to yours, Anon, in so much that I am a massive collector when it comes to things that don't fucking matter in any game. And it is literally, I will go around and pick up flowers and items to do alchemy in Oblivion and Skyrim for hours. Like everywhere I'm going, I'm just picking up stuff all over the place just to be able to make potions or whatnot. They really aren't worth anything. It's not like you could sell them that much unless you make the potions, but I maxed out my alchemy score first in Oblivion before I maxed out anything else. It's just I like to make potions. Then I also maxed out, I think the cooking thing. Was cooking a thing you can max out? Blue, are you upset with me because I did this?
I'm just in shock. Like, you're like the first person that I'm impressed. Alchemy was your first max like that, really?
Yeah. Like I think speed, like the dexterity thing was like technically the first one because you run everywhere, but alchemy was the first one that I physically went to.
Oblivion, I don't know if I know there was a cooking mod, but I don't know. I can't remember.
There was I just know it was like a thing.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
You could do. I don't remember if it was an actual skill set, but
skills. Yeah, there's acrobats. Alchemy, I think, was the whole thing because like alchemy pretty much was the cooking thing. Because like the fighting, no. Acrobatics, light armor, sneak, speech, no. I think alchemy was that. The only thing that you might have been, no, alchemy was the only one because you only had the 21 skills.
I gotcha. Yeah, I like building. So when we did, what was it? The Christmas event, the dawning, when we made the cookies. I actually really enjoyed that. Just saying. Also,
I liked it because it actually added little things to the story. It showed it showed the interaction.
Rahul's face.
It showed the interaction between the NPCs, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Blue. Number 2's for you.
So it kind of ties into what I was just saying. Is like just kind of reading up on the in-game stories.
Killing all the Thalmor.
That too. Yeah.
Just Thalmor.
I'm gonna go back to that one. Freaking third Aldemari Dominion can just F off. But that's actually why I like Elder Scrolls. It's because Elder Scrolls has like in my opinion, it's got one of the best in-game lore delivery systems. They actually have like actual books in the game that you can sit down. Like not only does it appease like the collector, you were kind of talking about Green, like because you have to go out and find the books, but you can actually sit down and you can actually, and they're actually like they're actual books. And actually, I think I think it was last year or the year before, they actually started printing the books from Skyrim, so you can actually get anthology sets of all the books in game in real life, which is really cool, and they're really pretty. Like they are really well done as far as like actual books. But it's like, yeah, I think, and the books themselves are like, they're all kind of similar to Destiny. They're all written in character within the world, and they have like, they have anything from like traveler's guides, which are hilarious to read because it's got like the blatant bias of the author. He's like, these people are primitive, blah blah blah, and it's just really fun. And then they have like the fiction stories and like the just like different bards. They have different like collection of songs. I'm like, it's just really cool for me because it's like it gives you that higher degree of immersion into the game world that I really actually really like doing.
Blue has shelves upon shelves in this little house that they built.
I get in trouble by my wife all the time whenever I start up Skyrim or Oblivion. Oblivion was a little bit worse because you had a little bit better control over this. But I have totally been caught after 3 hours of playing a game organizing my house, mainly the bookshelves. Skyrim introduced the ability to like build your own house. I was like, okay, well, all the bookshelves are mine. And they are organized alphabetically.
Oh, I'm scared to ask, but did you do the whole homesteading type thing where you have like you found a spouse in Skyrim and everything?
I never got into, so like here, that's the weird thing for me is like it's no, I didn't, because I actually really can't stand companion AI in RPGs. Okay. Like it's weird. It actually breaks the immersion for me because like they're so they're like awkward. Everything else in the game, like this is like a weird thing. Like everything else in the game is like super robust and super like depth and all this stuff. And then these companion AIs are like, I have to go open the door. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like get out. Go away. Like just go.
Sit.
Just sit. Like, yeah, just sit.
Stay
like,
there.
Skyrim did a better job with it because they actually like, you can, I think in the base game there was like the ability to get because it was the house jarl or whatever, like they actually would go well, because you could do different ones, like depending on which city you're in, you could get different ones, and they would actually go out and like do stuff. Like they would actually go out and there was one that was a merchant and she would go out and sell stuff, and then it's like every time you talk to her, she's like, here's 2 gold coin. I'm like, okay, good job. I've been gone for 6 months and that's all. No, whatever. Like whatever. Your shop's doing. Your shop is doing so great. I'm like, whatever. But I was so. I mean, at least they had some. But like in Oblivion, it was horrible. Like horrible. Just so 2D. But yeah,
it's hard to make a companion.
Oh no. I that's not a dig at the developers. Like the companion AI, it's one of those things where it's like when like RPGs especially, like it's the same problem I couldn't get into Fallout 4 is because this freaking dog meat. Like just stop. You're getting yourself killed, and then you feel bad because the stupid dog's like, I'm gonna go kill mole rats. It's like, no, don't. Dog meat.
Just the sigh.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm gonna let you die this time, and I'm not gonna. Gosh, now I feel bad because you got eaten.
Now I feel bad. By a mole.
Yeah, Screwball. Blue the Hermit. Leave me with my books.
Yes, he is. He is the Asher Mir of Skyrim.
Dude, I'm not joking. There is a awesome homestead area in Skyrim that actually is like in the middle of a swamp, and it's like one of the biggest plots of land that you can get. It's really cool. But yes,
Blue is Shrek confirmed.
totally okay with that. We're onions, okay? We're onions. Layers.
Your onions.
You make people cry? That too. Layers.
Okay, Anon, save us from the onion metaphor, please. What's your number 2?
I'd have to say like really just the world design, like looking at the world design is like, exploring, I guess, in any open world game.
Are you doing like breaking the game, like going into like the
I used to
behind
in
everything?
D1.
Oh yeah?
In D1 I would try to break out of every map and all that. In D2 I haven't, because I think probably the main reason I don't anymore is that sparrow glitch where you can like put it against the wall and just get out super easy. Like if it takes more effort than that, it's I've already, it's too much for me already.
Yeah.
Or the remember the Black Garden one?
Yeah.
You can just walk out.
Yeah, that one was
I'm done. I'm just leaving. It's like, no, that's not okay.
I think my favorite one was the one you could do on the strike in D1, where it was a Rasputin strike,
Saber
I think.
2.
Yes, where you went up against the rock and you just stood underneath the
war set, yeah.
The war set to finish it. You could solo that strike because of that little glitch.
Because that encounter was insane.
It was pretty rough when you were under level. Oh, gosh. Yeah. I haven't. Does anybody still do videos on that? Because I don't even know of any areas to glitch out of in D2.
Yeah, people have gotten on IO to the new strike.
Oh,
basically,
okay.
anytime there's a new strike coming in the game, someone has already been in there.
Interesting. I know there used to be a way to get to Ada before Ada opened up. I remember that one.
Yeah, all in the annex. You can get there before the annex was first open. You were able to get into the annex.
Just how people find, like,
yeah.
Did you like look up ways to do this, or did you try to find a way to do it on your own?
I would just try to find it on my own, like when I was bored in Destiny, and I would just glitch out of the map. I wasn't really trying to find anything. I was just doing it because I was bored, and it was cool to be out of the map and just jump around and do stuff like the restorative mind. Before that one came, was that in Rise of Iron or Taken King?
I honestly don't remember.
Before that one came out, I was in that strike multiple times, just messing around in there, because it, like, when I found out that you can get there, I was like, all right, well, I'm getting there.
There was a way to glitch out during Rise of Iron. You can glitch out of that map when we were in Old Russia
the top
again.
half,
Yeah,
above the Archon's Forge entrance.
I remember that one. That one was fun to do. I only did it a few different times, but it really, like you said, it was a lot easier in D1 to break out of the maps than it is in D2.
They just upped their game, really, because it was, I think the main reason it was so easy was the sparrow glitch, that you were just able to literally pass through solid walls.
The only one I know of that is kind of a glitch is in Riven. On one of the sides, if Riven doesn't show up.
Yeah, you can run into the wall.
Yeah.
It'll send you back to the top.
Yep. Yeah, that's the only one I know about that, like, I've used multiple times in D2 at this point. Like, it's an actual useful one.
I know that one because that's the one they showed me when I ran with. They're like, just run into this corner. What does this do? Just run into this corner. Okay.
Riven's a good example of my number 2, just like world design. I think it's between the vault and Riven, where you're just going through more of that whole temple, whatever it is, and you see the biomes of like Nessus and Mercury and pre-collapse Mercury too, not just Mercury how it is.
Yeah. That is a really pretty area. I think the few times I've gone in there with Cole, she and I get stuck in there and everyone just drags us forward because we are just looking at the different trees, like the tree things in the gosh, yeah. That actually is my number 2 in a very similar way. It's I turn off my HUD, though, and I walk
Yeah, I
around
don't do that.
Destiny. I
I'd be so screwed.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. I die all the time. Like, I can't do strikes and stuff that way. But if I'm in just, like, a public area, I'll turn off my HUD and just run without it, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a little bit of grief about this because this is something I've started recently doing, just because you get really bored because everything's real easy in public events. It's a nice new challenge to try to do public events without a HUD,
Mhm.
because reloading is a thing.
Yeah.
Gotta
But
count your bullets.
Mhm. Know your gun. Just know your
It's
gun.
with Sweet Business, it's really difficult.
Oh, I never used that gun. I think maybe I used it to get breakneck, but that was about it.
Because it's just like when you're trying to count, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Mhm. You just have to know how long it takes. Just
Yeah.
count seconds at that point, right?
Yeah.
All right, Blue. Up to number ones.
Well, my number 1 is actually the same as your guys's number 2.
Oh, really?
Especially with Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls in general, like just going out and this is actually one of the reasons I really like No Man's Sky is because the game is pretty much all of this, but just like throwing yourself into the middle of nowhere and just kind of just wandering, just completely not like just aimlessly just kind of discovering things within the game world is like and like No Man's Sky is really cool because it's all randomly generated. Like it's like, kind of RNG generated.
Mhm.
Skyrim though, it's like there's so many like random little things in Skyrim that that the developers purposely put, but they don't tell anybody about. Like there's like the little Easter eggs that are all over the place, and it's just really cool to see, um, like to find them and to discover something. Like they had one of the recent patches because like with Skyrim now you can put mods on the consoles, which is really cool. But
Yes.
one of the mods that they gave for Skyrim that was really really fun is it added holidays into the game. And
Oh,
so like
really?
it actually
I didn't even know
calculates.
about
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
yeah. It's oh my gosh, it's so much fun. But what's really cool is like there's this one holiday. It's based off the magic solstice. Is inside the game calendar, and if you like time it correctly, you can actually find a event that is like it's not a fighting event, it's not a combat event, it's actually a celebration of all the magical like monsters, and
Mhm.
you can watch this whole thing where it's like you have like the Autonox, the different fire elementals, like all the elementals have summoned themselves and are like celebrating this thing out in the middle of nowhere. And it's just like this
That's cool.
completely random thing that they built into it. Another one that they did was there was a really prominent member of the Elder Scrolls community who passed away, and one of the official mods they actually built a shrine for him and put it in the map. And they didn't mark it, they didn't do anything, but they told a few people who were really close to him, and that's now memorialized. He's now memorialized in the game. It's an official like mod to everything. It's just like that type of stuff is like really cool to kind of come across because you're like, what is this? And then you go research it or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like there's an actual explanation to all this random stuff inside, especially Elder Scrolls. They do that a lot. No Man's Sky, they do that with like the whole thing of the monoliths where you can learn things and they get challenged with riddles and stuff like that, and it's really cool. Also, like exploring the different worlds that you discover and stuff like that, I find it's just fascinating to see how it all comes together.
Kinda have that with the scannables in Destiny. I wish they
Yes.
would. I miss the fact that they haven't really added any in a long, long time.
Yeah, I keep
I'm
catching
so not
myself.
a fan of scannables.
Mhm.
I keep catching myself like looking for them every time I go into a different level that I haven't been in. Like
So
I'm like, oh, there's got to be something. No.
I
Like,
learned a new thing about one of the scannables on Nessus, which if you're going to Artifact's Edge and you go left instead of like going towards the forges, go the opposite direction. That first scannable on that en route to the next area, it's a conflux.
Mm-hmm.
I never play exos. I didn't realize that it
yeah.
shuts the exo
Yeah.
off. Like I didn't like Cole showed it to me the other day because she's never heard the other lines because
Right.
I only heard the line about exos or whatever. It's just
that's why I don't like the scannables, because it's almost like they're purposefully misleading to
Classes.
certain people, where it's like if you're not playing, either if you are or you're not playing as an exo, and that's a great example.
Mhm.
It's like, oh wow, Vex confluxes have exo markings on it, and it's like, what?
Mhm.
But then if
Mhm.
you're playing as the other one, it's like, oh yeah, Cade was messing around with this crap. Oh,
Yep.
that completely devalues what the first one
Well, and
almost said.
that's also like the veteran dialogue.
Yeah,
Oh
Some
god,
some of
don't get
them
me started on
some of
that.
them will do that. I remember when I learned that, I was like, oh no, because I'm thinking, I'm like, oh god, worst case, every single one of them is gonna be, worst case scenario, we have a different one for every race, every like veteran, non-veteran. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, my head hurts.
Mhm.
I just think I just think it's too much. It causes confusion, especially in the community, like
Well,
among different people who are like, this is what it says, this is what it potentially means.
I can appreciate their attempt at making it mean something to people who are veterans who have played the game and would understand the references that they're making.
Mm,
As I understand, like, the desire to do that, to be immersive like that. I just think
yeah.
that it was a really huge undertaking that became confusing to the rest of us. But, Anon, what's your number 1 since we're kind of throwing it the last little bits of things tonight?
My number one is absolutely just like achieving a power fantasy, like of whatever the power fantasy I'm going for in the game is.
Mhm.
Like just getting to that point where I feel extremely powerful within the game, and I can do whatever it is I'm setting out to do.
Is that by doing in-game content specifically with, like, a
Well,
class that you're working towards, or how do you accomplish that?
so like in Destiny, part of my power fantasy recently, like in PvP, it's been using middle tree Night Stalker. So I have
Mhm.
the flawless execution, going invisible, getting to see everyone through the map and stuff. And that's going to be getting nerfed. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like my power fantasy is getting nerfed there. So like I'll go back to like hopefully Golden Gun will get a buff. If not, I might actually just try out bottom tree Night Stalker and see like how that works, where it would be about using my grenade to get my melee, to get my grenade, to get my melee, to get my grenade,
Mhm.
etc. back and forth.
Have you tried the Arc Strider combo with Liar's Handshake? It's
uh like in PvP or in general?
in PvE. It's harder to accomplish in PvP because 'cause you're not having people run at you as much, but
Yeah, I just got a 1-2 punch last man standing, and I also got a
nice.
swashbuckler
Mhm.
last man standing. So I've been meaning to try it, but I just haven't yet because I've been extremely focused on getting Redrick's broadsword before the season ends.
Nice. If you get a chance to go into Shattered Throne, the
Mm,
ogre area,
hmm.
the big boss fight that everyone hates, that's
Yeah,
actually
keeper
the
of
hardest
position.
encounter in the stupid dungeon.
Hmm.
You can do that entire thing with Liar's Handshake and Arc Strider with the shoddy with the 1-2 punch.
That's
Yeah, but
awesome.
It's
do it
amazing.
before the update, because that's getting nerfed.
I know,
Yeah,
the 1-2
the
punches, but
compatibility. Well, I mean, it's the synergy between 1-2 punch and combination blow is what's
Yeah.
getting
mhm,
nerfed.
with the
Yeah,
Liar's Handshake.
because they called out that exact encounter.
It was you could solo it
Well,
as a
they
hunter, like, it's really hard to solo that in general, but
yeah.
as a hunter, you're so stinking squishy.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, I mean, especially now with the lack of auto reload, that's what really made it.
yeah,
I guess if you're trying to solo Shattered Throne, you need to do it before Shadow Keep drops, because it's gonna get a lot harder for you.
yeah, definitely. Alright, so my number 1 personally is trying to beat an encounter or a game without activating the enemy's attacks. And the only game I've been able to do this, like, completely, and Blue kind of probably already knows where I'm gonna go with this because I've told this story a few times. It's how I beat Oblivion. The main story, at least. And I had
Did you do
5
Batman? Did you do the Batman challenge?
What's the Batman challenge?
Go through the entire game without killing anybody?
Oh, no, I didn't do that. I wasn't
That's
no,
insane.
I was the jerk that literally just made myself completely invisible because the AIs wouldn't recognize you if you were completely invisible, even if you hit them. Yep. I was that person who sniped everything with a bow all the way through Oblivion. Just I was so under level when I beat that game because I had 5 rings of invisibility, which gave you 20%. It was amazing. That was my power fantasy of just having ultimate power of being able to affect the world without the world affecting me. I apparently don't like a challenge. Anyway, that was my number 1. Sniping in a game in general, though, is a lot of fun. Standing back and, like, knowing the thrall aren't going to walk through the door because apparently there's a barrier there for them unless you're close enough. It's just knowing where those limits are.
The AI knows you have a sniper.
Mhm.
Like, no, not going through that door. We don't peek sniper lanes.
Yeah.
They're
Acolytes
smarter than the players.
have third eye. They know exactly where you're at with that sniper. Ba-dunch. Anyway, that is our top 3 for this week, guys. Thank you guys for listening and joining in with us. Thank you for live chat for kind of giving us your top 3s as we're going along and giving us a little grief for some of the different things we got going. But next week, we'll have another one of these. And as always, remember, everybody loves a list. I got called out for a bad joke. Sorry,
Bad
Black
joke.
Flag.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
I'm okay. It's okay. Power fantasy is getting throwing knife kills, like from far away. It's not too hard when you have the single throwing knife.
I don't know. I've started to fall in love with those triple blades.
Oh yeah,
those are really nice.
Blade Barrage.
No, just like the throwing knife. Yeah, the throwing knives for Blade Barrage. Oh my gosh.
Yes. All right, I'm going to be right back real quick because
coffee.
And yeah.
Yeah, the effects of coffee. do 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 do. There it is. Oh, hey, Solus, what's up? Maybe. Black Flag. Curse to the crowd by a tree monster. They will do that.
I can totally defend myself why alchemy was the first thing I got in Skyrim. I'm going back to that because it just...
I just think it's funny that that's your first.
It was because... Okay, so Skyrim, or it was Oblivion, was my first real game that I got kind of addicted to in the roleplay fantasy of it. Just actually getting it immersed in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just I just enjoyed apparently playing house and cooking and essentially what you were doing, but without books.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get into the lore and stuff.
Yeah, my thing was like I would like one of the first skills that I actively would pursue in pretty much everything. Any Elder Scrolls game has always been the security equivalent. So like lockpick or sneak or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Fallout. Fallout was the same way. Like I would automatically go and gravitate towards maxing that out because that really just fit my playstyle. But then after that, like Oblivion, I think one of the secondary skills was like armor crafting, like
Yeah.
what was it? Was it blacksmith? Was
I
that
think
what
it
it
was
was?
blacksmith.
But
Blacksmith,
because Oblivion had the degradation component, which
yeah.
I know a lot of people didn't like that. I actually liked that because it made you actually pay attention to what you were doing.
Repair
I thought,
your armor.
yeah, and like actually
Sure you
like
had
keep an
armor.
eye on what's going on. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, that was mine. All right, let's see.
Ball lightning kills from high in the sky is possible. Feels pretty fantastic. What? Sniping striker titans in the
They're
head while
talking.
they're
They're talking
yeah, the
about
power
power
fantasies.
fantasy.
Mm-hmm. I sniped a sentinel the other day out of a super. That felt pretty good.
Nice.
He was across the map. He did not see me. It was fine.
You're like, you can stay over there. Don't come over here.
Don't throw that stupid Captain American shield at me.
Captain American.
I'm tired.
Did you see the argument that what was it? Oh God, Rick. What did I just blank? Man at Arms. The Big Show, who's apparently mains a hunter, and it's hilarious. Like it's hilarious watching him deej, and I think it was one of the other. I think was it Pino. No, Pino's a hunter too. There was another dev that's a Titan, but they're all like ganging up on each other.
Oh, freaking Deej puts out that tweet about hunters being terrible or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the one that he's like, listen here, you medic wannabe wearing your floofy dress. It was amazing. And then the Titan got involved, and he's like, all right, because I think that was when the Titan got involved, and he's like, look, I don't need to be nerfed. You have a seeking hammer that finds all this stuff.
Right.
And Man at Arms is like, hammer? What's a hammer? It's like, listen. Not everyone has a shoulder that is a heat-seeking missile, okay? All
right, Blue. If Dan Finity says yes to this date, we have guests lined up until April.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Bife effect. Bife effect.
Not just Bife effect, just in general. I don't think everybody was a Bife thing.
That's true.
Anyway.
Big Show looks a lot like a Titan. Yeah, well, you know, your Titan Vanguard is a warlock, so which is hilarious too.
Good disrespect.
It is fun watching Lance play, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to know that someone who voices a character would actually play. I feel like they'd be so close to it.
Well, and that's what's so funny about Lenny James, who voices Shax. He doesn't play at all. He's not a gamer.
Exactly.
He's not a gamer at all. He says it's the weirdest thing because I think his son plays, and he'll play like Crucible, and he'll hear himself in the other room, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, like that. If I was a voice actor, I don't think I could play any. Like I can appreciate the game for sure, but I don't think I could play it because when I start hearing myself, I'll be like, "Wait a second."
That's not what.
Play a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone's played a little bit.
I think she did, And then I know she watches, like she'll jump into live streams from time to time. I know that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just not the same as like the Overwatch voice actors, because a lot of those guys will go into matches and instead of they'll go into the live party of the
Mercer
team,
does it all the time.
Oh my god, it's
so funny,
so fucking hilarious to watch him do voice lines
as
McCree.
He trolls them all the time. It's so great. It's high. What? Oh my god.
Just the fact he'll also pick a different character. There will be no McCree in the team for some reason, and then he'll do the McCree voice. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's funny.
But Sombra does it. Lucio does it. Matt Mercer, obviously. McCree. I think a few of the other guys have done it too.
Reinhardt, I think the guy that does Reinhardt does it, because he can drop in and out, like he can drop in and out of that voice acting, just ridiculous. Mercer too. All of them are freaking. Yeah, Black Flag. Yeah, they are big role players.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Start this back up, and we are good to go. So. Welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on September 13th, 2019, over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat. As always, I want to give a big shout out to our live chat here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This week's episodes are going to be focused around the exploring of another look at the darkness. This particular episode will serve as what we have come to call the intro session of the week's exploration. Before we get any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who all we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86.
And this is the Queen of the Golden Age, Green-Eyed Music Lover.
I'm so glad that you've taken up that title. It's just correct. And last, but definitely not least, in the hot seat as guest co-host, we have our good friend, Anon Pig. Anon, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very tired of that.
I'm good.
My bedtime is 8:30.
Oh god. It's midnight.
It is midnight.
Oh my gosh.
I am well past my bedtime at this point. Well, so usual introductory question next for you, but where can we find you on the internet?
You can mostly find me on Twitter, just at ANONPIG, but you can also find a lore talk show.
A loose cannon?
Yeah, no, because I'm off my rhythm. I was supposed to make a joke.
Gotcha.
It's called Loose Cannon. I think it might be Loose Cannon Show on Twitch, because it's hard to get the exact name across the board.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. I know that. That
was
Cannon always
show, Loose Cannon, stuff like that. It's myself, Baxter from the Ishtar Collective, Guardian, Rhino, if any of those people.
Oh yes.
Rings bells.
Yes.
Yep. Rhino, especially with the Destiny.
Yeah, Rhino's great.
And if you want to hear Anon and Baxter go back and forth, dear Lord, the jokes, just Baxter, just the disapproving dad in the background kind of thing half the time.
Yeah, I love messing with Baxter.
Well, don't worry about memorizing all the links. We'll get all those up in our show notes on the lorenetwork.com when the advanced session comes out later this week. But I know Green usually has a few of just like crazy questions, off-wall questions that she likes asking our guests. So I'm going to hand it over to her for that one.
So, Anon Pig.
Yeah.
You first popped into at least my awareness, my existence, through Ishtar Collective specifically. But where did you start your journey in the lore of Destiny?
Being wrong.
Okay. About what?
Being horribly and embarrassingly wrong. The first thing that really got me started in the lore was What was that old Tolan card where he's rambling about why did matter win over the
yeah, that's the one that's like, don't you understand, idiots?
Yeah.
Oh, the Taken King one?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
like
it was
D1.
it was like it
Like,
was well before
well,
Okay.
like launch.
Yeah, Darkness 3 then. It's
Darkness
the
3.
Tolan card
Yeah.
we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. I thought like when I first read that card, I thought that was the linchpin of it all, where like this is where everything stems from, and I just like ran with that with a huge theory, and then like as I ran through the theory, I started thinking like I should do something with this. Like I'm doing so much research on it,
Mm-hmm.
and there are no doubt other people who want to know about the lore. So like on the Bungie forums, I just posted a poll like, what do you want to know about? And I'll write up a post about it. And everyone's like, oh, let's know about the Vex. So I wrote a post about the Vex, and it was like everything I found about the Vex. And I was like, I'm finding things that like kind of coincide with my theory. And then I was like, all right, let's keep doing this. And I just did like, I don't know, I did so many posts in so many days. Like I did at least one post a day. And that type of thing gets you noticed really fast.
Yeah.
When you're writing like a really lengthy post like that people are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And just as it went on, I was like, oh crap. I am so wrong. And I was like, it just went further and further. Like I was wrong, and it's so obvious that I was wrong, and it is not that. Like I had this whole theory that it was like there was basically like a parallel of universes where matter won and one where the primordial won. And Destiny was basically the universes were colliding, and it was creating this catastrophe event that was the collapse and all that. And it's like I still think it would be cool, but it's not at all accurate.
You're right. It would be amazing.
Yes.
But it's not what Destiny is.
The primordial of
someone else can do
darkness. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look, I mean, I think we all have had crazy theories. Blue has a mind map of Osiris that breaks the website every time he opens it and tries to change anything.
I can't open it anymore. I've gotten emailed from him like, don't touch it, please. Like, all right, cool.
It's just, I mean, I have my theory about Shin, or not Shin, Dr. Shim.
I still think that's a valid theory.
I know.
You know my theory on Dr. Shim?
That is such an old theory. Oh my god, I almost forgot about it.
About Osiris being Dr. Shim?
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's my theory. See, this is a totally different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm like, no, that actually kind of
I would at least be I would be interested in it.
Yeah, I would need to flesh it out. It was mostly me trying to figure out a way to poke at Beard, because Beard and I would throw theories at each other, just back and forth. But this one actually gained some traction for some reason. I don't know why.
I could see there's character similarities with like attitudes and stuff. Although Shim is kind of more Toland in my opinion.
Really?
Like if I had to compare it to someone, because Osiris is like blunt and like I don't have time for your nonsense.
Oh yeah,
but Toland is mocking about it. Osiris isn't really mocking.
The thing with Shim though is just the dive into the Vex, like his obsession with getting into the Vex and figuring things out, which is why I was connecting those two. Like Osiris is the resurrected version of Shim. But
I thought you were saying the because when you go into what was that one called, the
mission on
computer,
the Ishtar Collective mission.
Yeah, where it's like you log onto the computer and it's like, greetings, Dr. Shim, and everyone's like, oh my god, we're Dr. Shim. Like, no, we just logged onto his profile. Like, calm down.
We just hacked into his
computer.
It.
Don't worry about it, guys.
All right, so I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this next question, but what class do you primarily play, and what subclass are you primarily playing currently?
Hunter, obviously. I've always gone back and forth between Gunslinger and Night Stalker. I feel
Okay.
more home in Gunslinger, but Night Stalker lately has been getting a lot more utility, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Are you
Whereas Gunslinger is
doing
just like damage.
are you doing the old class where you're doing 6-shooter or 3-shooter, or are you doing Blade Barrage with the Gunslinger, or are you like where you home at in those subclasses?
Kind of like I said with the power fantasy, it depends on what I'm going for. Like if I know I'm going solo
Mm-hmm.
and like I just want to like output like a lot of damage, I might go middle tree with sealed Ahamkara grasps, so then I can melee, I can roll, I can melee, I can roll, I can melee, I can roll, and just like
Mm-hmm.
always get my melee back. And in between the melees and rolls, I can like just get like 4 shots of a mountaintop off and just like get like a burst of damage. And then so like if there's any like big major that's like giving me a hard time, they can go down really fast.
Nice.
PvP mostly it'd be like 6-shooter, any raid encounter where I would have teammates to support me. I would
Mm-hmm.
probably be bottom tree with Celestial Nighthawk.
Okay, yeah. Be able to give that massive damage with the one
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Nice. I have no crazy question because I have a feeling tonight's gonna be a lot of crazy with our community feedback. So, Blue.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking about the community feedback, so
Dang it.
for this week, Green loves having what we've started calling her pop quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
So you were kind enough to ask the community about the thoughts on the issue of the darkness, and I'm almost kind of afraid to ask how did everyone do, or what was everyone's thoughts on those.
I could tell you my favorite answer was actually the first one I got.
There were
Um,
some good ones. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
I was looking at a few of them, and I did actually like the tongue in cheek ones.
Mm-hmm. So the question of the week was very simple. What is the darkness? Because that's pretty much the crux of everything in this episode in some ways. Like, what is it? We don't know what it is, kind of thing. And my favorite one actually it's a tie between two. One is a musical reference because duh. And the other one is Man at Arms because also duh. So Screwball put I questioned, "What is the darkness?" Screwball answered, "My old friend." And then Man at Arms screenshot the question and put the answer was there all along, and I had actually tagged Anon Pig in it and put a little imp underneath him, and
Yeah.
he says that Anon is the darkness.
He always gives me a hard time. I don't know why.
Because it's Rick. He gives everybody a hard time, and I love it.
Yeah.
You
My
He's a
other
cool guy.
my one of my favorites was it's the opposite of the light.
Mhm.
Or the absence of light or something. Like I was like, right, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Beard's answer was, "That's easy, just Discord on light mode." That's literally the darkness. I forgot there was a light mode for Discord, to be
It
honest.
hurts so much.
As far as, like, serious to get into a little bit more of, like, actual theories that came up, one of the theories was the darkness is a cosmic force and necessary polarization to the light, or mirroring it, warring for the right to claim superiority on how to best cultivate meaning to life in the universe. The light sees order as the superior method, the darkness sees chaos as being the preferred. As to the more physical manifestation, I believe the darkness has its own true vanguard and representatives in this universe, much like the traveler is to the light. Essentially, we are foot soldiers in a theology war. Also, the darkness is Nezarec. Fight me. So,
Wicked.
yep. Doesn't take long to figure out who put that theory up. Some people, let's see here. Veru put it's a sentient dimensional energy lurking in a deeper layer of the void. It is alone. It needs the universe to be rendered down to its final shape and then use that as a host so that it is no longer formless. It needs to be the first in a new universe, as Mara was in the distributary. which I think is a kind of an interesting theory.
I like that.
Thoughts on that one from you two?
I mean, I like that. It kind of coincides with what the Hive are going for. But I mean, like that's kind of an issue with it as well, because like the Hive are getting their theology from the worms, which are getting their theology assumably directly from the darkness, but it's playing a game of telephone.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going from darkness to worm to Hive, and Hive are saying it's all about being the final shape, what is the darkness actually saying?
Yeah. Speaking of that, Dredge and Gemini mention, without being informed to the highest degree of accuracy, we the Guardians and Cryptarchs hesitate to articulate for fear we might deviate from the true course of vicissitude of the explanation of the matter concerning the darkness. In other words, we have no idea what it is. I
like that one.
The huge. I mean, I'm well done for using vicissitude in the correct manner. I have not seen that one used. Not very, like, nobody uses that word, but the Grimrod writers. And
I had to resuscitate someone once. It was intense. Yeah, I just passed out. I didn't know what was going on.
Just passed out. Was it too much alcohol?
Probably. We're at a pool, so.
Oh, that's bad. Could, like, that's not good. Mouth to mouth. Anyway, the deep incarnate is manifested as the Hive, the never-ending consumers who bargain with their gods to be immortal for a price. What you may assume is the darkness will forever be the bone walkers, much like what the cunning will soon show us in A Bed of Roses. So that was from Lochran 8. So there's some interesting theories in here, some definite people just throwing out kind of their own ideas of both theory-wise and just funnies. Somebody said the triangles, like the triangle ships. Somebody said their obsession with the darkness is the darkness. Some people said the mountaintop quest. I agree.
I got that done.
I don't even want to try it, to be honest. Like, I gave it a hot minute try in Crucible, and I was like, nope, I don't care.
I mean, how close are you on like multis and metals?
I tried it for a hot minute, meaning I did one match and then rage quit. Like, I don't use grenade launchers.
It is very rage inducing.
Oh, gosh.
When they made that change, I was so close that I was like, I'm sitting down today and I'm getting it done. And there were multiple times when I was trying to get it done, and I was just like so mad at what was happening that I like actually felt sick. I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw up. I'm so fucking mad right now.
Oh gosh. It was just like, I can't kill anything with a grenade launcher. I don't use them. I don't understand the arch. I don't not the arch, but the arc of the grenade. It's not something I don't, especially the ones that have like the delayed explosion where it has like the sticky grenade. I don't get it. Like, I would have to use Colony. I would need that much assistance, which
I mean, not that Colony is a bad choice. That's what I used to get it to finish it off. But it's really just about learning like where to go for it. Like when you get it, especially when you're going for multi kills, what you want to do, in my opinion, what you want to do is pay attention to the kill feed, and when you start to see that the entire enemy team has just been like defeated, you want to assess which spawn they're going to go to, because they're probably all going to be coming out together, just lob grenades at them.
Just murk them.
Be the absolute worst person and just get it done.
See? Mountaintop quest is the darkness. You have to be the worst. It's
be
worse
the
than
worst person.
Well, I mean, there's nothing worse than like being like, oh man, I can't believe I just died. And then you just get grenade launched.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. I still don't know if I will ever do it. Like, that is one weapon archetype I just don't care for. I didn't even go anywhere near was it Wendigo? When I don't even know what
Wendigo.
Yeah.
Wendigo is good.
Wendigo.
Well, I mean, it is technically Wendigo. Did they actually call it Wendigo?
I don't know. It's the one that's Australian that all the Aussies went, yes!
I don't know.
That's all I don't know.
That all you got?
That's all I have. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, as always, we love hearing your thoughts both on Twitter and Discord and in the live chat as well. Green tosses those questions out to Twitter each week, and our Discord server also gets a chance to weigh in on them as well. In case you're among those who don't feel comfortable in the Twitterverse, we make sure to scrape those and put them in our Discord server. But enough of my chatter. I know everyone is looking forward to diving into the discussion, so let's get the standard housekeeping notes out of the way, and then we'll get right into it. So just pause for a second, and then I guess I'll just where do you guys want to start as far as like an introduction to what is the darkness? I guess that you want to do that as the starting point, is talk about what is the darkness, or our thoughts about the darkness from Destiny, like the original D1.
I think that maybe just having the darkness card, the beginning of the whole thread that everybody just became obsessed about, might be a good place to start. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but this card was kind of what. Well, the actual darkness card, where it talks about something hit us, killed our golden age. That card itself, and yeah, it does have the different positions in there, the Pajari, Saint 14s, Ulantans. Just it kind of started the spark of all of that, of all the darkness talk and what it is, and what if it's the big ultimate baddie in the whole thing.
Well, I think the Queen of the Golden Age should read it.
By the way, for listeners and chat, the reason why he's calling me this is because when we went to Guardian Con, Blue is a sweetheart and brings gifts every year. And I don't know if it's just this old-fashioned Texas upbringing, but he's been making these books where he'll glue all the pages together, and he'll cut out a good chunk of them and create like a pocket inside of it for whatever. In
spaghetti.
The book, yeah, totally. You could put spaghetti in
there.
Yeah,
it's similar to like a Poisonwood Bible, basically, but they're not Bibles, is the only difference.
But the book that he used for me is titled Queen of the Golden Age, and it has one of his drawings inside of it with a hunter emblem, and it's kind of, is it the title page that you just moved, or is it?
On that one, I can't remember if it was I think that was I want to say that was a title page, but I took I basically recreated the Night Stalker sketch of the hunter logo, and then I think didn't I colored it, didn't I? I can't remember on that one. I think I colored it.
You did. It's got like the blue, gold, green, and like the hunter orange and everything. It's very cute, but it sits on my desk. It's one of the things I keep on my desk in front of me while I'm playing. So that is why he's calling me that. It's not literally that I'm claiming to be the Queen of the Golden Age. I mean,
she wouldn't deny the term, but
I would. I mean, if you still bestow it upon me. You can't hear it, but I just like dusted my shoulder a tiny bit.
Yeah,
anyway.
you could hear it a little bit. You could hear it a little bit.
Yeah. But we'll do the card of the darkness. Something hit us, killed our golden age, nearly wiped us out. Only the traveler saved us, and at a shattering cost. The speaker tells of a cosmic force that swept over us and caused the collapse. Legend calls it the darkness, the traveler's ancient enemy which hunted across space. All we have left are questions. Centuries of debate gave birth to competing arguments of the nature of the darkness and the collapse. The Pujari position describes the darkness as a force with both physical and moral presence, an actualization of evil. Pujari art depicts the darkness as a great storm, or as a change in conduct, a corruption that emerged from within and poisoned the Golden Age. Saint 14's position argues that the darkness was an invading armada, an alien force of incredible but tangible power. Some adherents believe that this armada sprang from species rejected or discarded by the traveler for their sins. Ulan Tan's thesis considers the darkness a necessary symmetry to the traveler in a cosmic balance. In this view, the traveler's goodness led it to sacrifice for others, and it is up to us to return this goodness by healing the traveler. The monist position, or the deflationary position, considers the darkness as a technologically sophisticated force, perhaps a post-singularity intelligence. Adherents invoke information theory or contend that the universe is a simulation, allowing advanced intelligence to gain weakly acausal powers by bending the rules. The acataleptic claim cause blah 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 these words. The acataleptic clause claims that we are intrinsically unable to understand the darkness. In many respects, this belief parallels the Praxic Creed, which suggests that we should stop worrying about the nature of the darkness and focus on resisting and defeating it. Certain positions
punch it in the face.
Certain positions, often labeled heretical, imply that the traveler itself triggered the collapse, or that it knew the darkness was coming for it and hoped to use the solar system as a sacrifice or a proxy army. The binary star cult is one notable example. By the way, reading this card with a slightly stuffed up nose and not able to breathe all the way like normal is
I'm impressed.
Rather difficult. Anyway. The Darkness card. This is what sparked everything. At least for me, it did. Did it do the same for you guys?
I'm trying to look up. I had Anon, I'm sure you probably have similar notes. I had notes on the those last few, like monist, deflationary, and the acataleptic.
Blue. Look in the positions on show notes. I literally copy pasted your stuff from episode 26.
Yay! Green thinks ahead. Yes.
By the way, if you want our first episode on the darkness, that is episode 26.
Thank you,
I was
Green.
Not there.
Thank you, Green. I was like, I swear I had all these things written down somewhere. Yeah. Okay. So Green beat me to it. Thanks, Green. That's literally that's what I was looking for. I'm so So the fun thing for that one too is like this is also the debate on the binary/trinary star cults. I remember this was like a huge thing as well at that point because the binary star cult, that was D1 it was binary, and then it was like later there was a mention of a trinary star cult, which caused a bit of confusion because we're not really sure if those are the same or if they are separate.
Yeah, I think what it was this card says binary, and I think it was the cloak that said trinary.
It was either cloak, but then there was also the lighthouse. Remember, there was the mention on the lighthouse card as well of the and it was like, but yes, then there was what was it? That's the one with like the skeleton deer, I think.
Yeah,
so one you could pick up from the speaker.
Yeah, because it was cult/trinary star, which like that's not even what it's called. It's weird because that there's the binary star cult, and then there is the cult/trinary star.
It drove me up a wall when that happened because I was like, okay, was this a typo, or is there actually separate?
This was their internal name, and they just forgot to change it, and they were like, "Oh crap!"
Just makes it onto the game. Yeah. That would be amazing.
Out of all the items, one getting through with their name seems like a very small.
I'm like, typo. if that's fine. But no, I thought the other thing was like the names of the different positions here. Actually, these are actual terms. Like these are actual philosophical and like not theological, but philosophical concepts. Like actacaleptic is basically literally, it means incapable of being comprehended. And it's like, and this is actually a throwback to skepticism, like original skepticism. Like that basically says you can't be certain about anything. You can only be pretty sure about stuff. And then monism is like, there's there is no duality, or what is it? It's a theory or doctrine that denies the existence of a distinction or duality in some sphere, such as that between matter and mind or God and the world. So it's basically there's only one. Instead of a binary, there's a monary. Deflationary theory to truth is a philosophical statement that basically asserts that a statement is true. To assert that a statement is true is just to assert the statement itself. So it's like basically it's a play on words. The example that's given is snow is white. Well, yes, for example, to say that snow is white is true, or that it is true that snow is white is equivalent to saying simply that snow is white, and thus, according to the deflationary theory, is all that can be said significantly about the truth of snow is white. It's like it's a semantic philosophy like type concept. It's really like just etymology and stuff like that.
Do you think any of these theories, because that's what essentially what this card is, right? It's putting forth all these theories, and this is going both to Blue and Anon. Do you think any of these theories hold any weight anymore?
I think all of them do.
I was about, yeah, the chat saying that too. It's like, I think in a degree, all of these statements are like a semblance of truth.
Especially because Bungie has actually said like they don't have a single endpoint in mind. So to have us beat the darkness would be a single endpoint, but there's so many people saying so many things about what the darkness is. It feels like we're just labeling anything that really wants to fight us as the darkness. The only reason why the fallen isn't the darkness is because we're beating them. And
yeah,
because they're not the ones
until that though, that was like Saint 14's position, right?
Yeah,
it was like the Armada, exactly. And then Pajari's position. I mean, that's a description of Clovis Bray, you know, and Ulan Tan's. We're seeing a resurgence of the concept of symmetry with you know recent events. You know, like I think that the only one that we haven't gotten a lot of confirmation is actually the heretical ones. And I think that's mostly because we just haven't really seen anything. Like we haven't seen that particular piece yet. I kind of feel like should be stated.
With the Traveler causing the collapse type thing? Is that
the Traveler using us as a proxy army? Which I mean,
that feels
you kind of yeah. That's what I was about to say. Depending on because like technically speaking, you have the pacifist guardians that Efferdeet is a part of out in the was it Jupiter, I think.
No one knows, from my understanding.
Yeah, well, I thought it was like the area was like it was outside of it was beyond the asteroid belt, right?
Jovians
or Jovians, okay. But like I could see them being like, no, like this is a proxy army, and I don't want any part in it. I mean, like I see there is a grain of truth in that, and I think that's the thing is like all these positions, ultimately there is a grain of truth. As much as it pains me, even the speaker's position.
Okay.
I think that, and that's kind of what I think Vuru is saying in chat too right now, is like the similarity to the original, like the 9 card. I always refer to that as the gather information check card for Destiny. It was like, all right, you go into a bar, roll a gather information check, and this is the answer you're going to get. That's kind of what this one does feel a little bit like as well.
Okay. So what if we went into the next kind of series of cards that we got that quote unquote was the darkness cards, the ghost fragment cards that have darkness titled with them? Because all 4 of those cards, because there's ghost fragment darkness, darkness 2, darkness 3, darkness 4, all 4 of them are completely different from each other. Like there's not really a one thing besides the fact that they're called darkness cards that tie them together. Because what we had Ghost Fragment Darkness, which is the Sky Shock Alert card, where we first hear about everything shutting down. It's the collapse, right? Really is what we understand to be the collapse with Rasputin and his whole code with that. Then you get Darkness 2, which is Dreams of Alpha Lupi, where it's the philosophy The universe is a beast. And I know there's theories tied into this card in particular. Then we have Darkness 3, which is the Toland card that was brought up earlier, which, if I remember correctly from your episode 26, was the main one you guys focused on back then.
Yeah, and there's a fun extracurricular connection that I have with this card too, to an actual philosopher, John Toland, who like this card is like a thesis ripped directly from that philosopher's works, which is just really interesting for me.
And then we finally end up with Darkness 4, which is the exotic card that you could get. And it's the "This war is all there is for you" card. Fight on then, this war is everything. So
I don't remember what card. Where did we get Darkness 4? Where was that from? Was that attached to anything specific?
Probably just a ghost, right?
It's just a ghost.
Was it just a ghost? Okay.
I don't remember where you picked this one up from, but it was available in just basic Destiny.
Right, yeah, it was a base vanilla Destiny one. It reads like a Dream of Alpha Lupa is the reason I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
It has that that cadence, I guess would be the best word to put there. But it's not because it's talking about us. It's not talking about the whatever Alpha Lupa is, the Traveler or whatever theory you want to hold to.
Right. One thing that's always just kind of had me hung up, just to kind of go back to the original The Darkness card with all the theories, though, is that like I think it was Blue was saying the mana is deflationary, although these are actual things, they're actual terms being used appropriately. So to have positions, even if they are labeled heretical, be called the binary star cult, it feels purposeful. Like it's not just what we call ourselves. Let's call ourselves the binary star cult. It's edgy. Like, they're not just throwing a random thing out there, which makes me think what connects binary stars to the Traveler is using us as a proxy army.
Well, you have the I may be speaking this might be incorrect, but isn't a binary and a trinary star where you also have nemesis stars?
As far as like the physics of it?
Yeah. I
think so.
What's a nemesis star?
A nemesis star is it's like a deathical.
Deathical?
A nemesis star is a theoretical dwarf star thought to be a companion to our sun. The theory was postulated to explain a perceived cycle of mass extinctions in Earth's history. Scientists speculate that such a star could affect the orbit of objects in far outer solar systems, sending them on a collision course with Earth.
Which is the Death Star. It's like it's like a theory. No, it's a theoretical. So like it's basically it's referred to as Death Star companion because basically it's eventually gonna smack into something, namely us.
So a good like Destiny reference kind of sort of thing to go with it is like the whole Nessus thing. How Nessus gets pulled completely out of orbit. It's the concept that there's theoretically
that was Vex nonsense,
right?
Wasn't it?
Right. Likely Vex doing it, but it's the idea of something being pulled out of orbit and put into a different one. The
more
Nemesis
like
could do that.
Fundament.
Yes, the
syzygy.
The Fundament.
The syzygy.
Well, I just meant the planets that get sucked into the Fundament.
Oh yes.
Like literally what the Nemesis star is supposed to do. Like, sucking planets into other planets.
Yep. Well, just like put them on a collision course, change their orbit.
Yeah. Which, if you're saying, like, you could say that the binary star cult is saying that the Traveler is the Nemesis star.
Oh.
Like that's the hypothetical, like, thing that collides with Earth. Because the thing is like, that would explain, because that's the Nemesis star, like you were saying, Green, is the postulate to explain perceived cycle of mass extinctions. mass collapses. And yeah, Black Flag is all. It pulls the darkness to us. Like, there's a.
Well, it's that adage that you get in D2 is that the brighter the light, the deeper the shadows.
Well, I mean, that's
the
even
shadows.
Because that's what was it, Xur in D1? It's like your traveler has a dark mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't that explained?
I don't know. Did that ever get explained?
Yeah, just in Season of the Drifter.
I don't remember.
I swear to God that just got explained. I'm so out of it. I really like the idea that the traveler is the nemesis star, making it the binary star system, though. That's really,
because that would tie into what you're saying too. Because I mean, I agree with your thing. Is like everything else has a very poignant name. This
what I was originally thinking was, could people have studied the traveler and revealed like something about it? Could people in the golden age have found that the traveler actually has abandoned a binary star system, and that binary star system is now destroyed, and so it's like, oh, are we just sacrifices to the darkness? Like that type of that's where the philosophy could have come from, in my opinion.
So if we run with this little theory a little bit, here we go with some spin foil. Now that the traveler is permanently seated against Earth, if it is the nemesis pulling everything towards us, we are on a collision course with quote unquote the darkness, whatever that may be, the antithesis of the traveler, right?
Yeah,
theoretically.
So the dark mirror thing, it was actually from Most Loyal Unknown Space, where Varix is talking to the Nine, and
oh, that's right. Yeah.
I walk among the children of Earth and the blessed of the great machine, the one they call the Traveler, because they have been chosen. For you, the great machine is a dark mirror.
Oh, for you, the great machine is a dark mirror.
Yeah, so your traveler has a dark mirror. It's like, I guess it's referencing its past.
Would that actually make, I mean, if you're thinking the sides of good guy versus bad guy is just a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
If the traveler is the bad guy to the fallen at that point, but the traveler was there with the fallen before their whirlwind, right?
But what he's saying is like, if it's the history, then its abandonment of the fallen, or the Elixni to create the fallen, is the darkness, or not the darkness, but God, this conversation is going to get confusing.
It just pulled the darkness to them, and
it's like its actions. Whirlwind. Its actions was the antithesis of the light. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that makes sense as I said that. Veru's asking the meaning of a dark mirror, like in the terminology here. So like usually it's like the best example that I can come up with is actually another video game, Dark Link from Oracle of Time.
Zelda,
yeah, Zelda. It's like it's the mirror image of a thing, but it's like if something is white, it is black. If it is light, it is dark, and that's where you get that concept of like that dark mirror. It's the theoretical opposite to X.
It's oftentimes used as a trope in in many like TV shows and stuff like that. That you'll have the good guy version, and then you'll have the
dark
evil
twin
version of the good guy version. I mean, it's like you just have the bad guy version of the main character or whatever.
Or like a split of personality where his evil side. It's the evil side. I think it's another easy way.
The other side.
Other side, yes.
Yeah, like when you divide the main character into like 8 personalities, he has his sad, his happy, his evil.
All I can think of is Teen Titans Go when Raven gets split.
I was thinking of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, Jimmy, yep. Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's like, oh, that's the cool Jimmy. Somehow.
Somehow.
That existed in him. Okay.
That was buried really, really deep.
Smokes.
Yeah. It was really overpowered by every other Jimmy.
You can't squash that nerd. It's just too overbearing. All right. So as far as like D1 information, that's a lot of what we had to talk about back then. Do you have anything
like
else to add
the
to
ghost
on
fragments
D1
were
stuff?
the other ones.
Yeah,
Like
and the ghost fragments, I still don't necessarily see a major connection to them. The only thing I can think of is that the ghost fragments somewhat explain some of the theories or like the ideas behind the theories.
So let me double check. He might have deleted it. Oh, yeah, he deleted a bunch of them. Seth just had a very large thread. Ghost Fragment Darkness was the first actual card I did for the D1 Alpha, if I recall correctly, establishing a stupid number of codes and techno details, which later Destiny Raiders expanded on. Okay, well, that doesn't actually help.
AKA Seth wanted to write something really cool and it drove everybody crazy.
Which
sounds like Seth.
Which sounds like Seth. Because yeah, Darkness 1 was the Sky Shock event so that's like the event of basically we always kind of assumed that was the antithesis, or not the antithesis, the catalyst point for the collapse. You also see like the references that will later be used with the what was it, the sleeper simulant. You have the different command lines with those, like the Yuga, the Voluspa, the Kari White. Wasn't there? Yeah, Monte Carlo. I want to say
just a lot of
there was
Rasputin command.
Yeah. Basically, this is basically saying this is sterile neutrino scattering, which is where a lot of people kind of focused back on after the Taken were introduced.
Learning about especially after Asher started screaming it at everything.
Asher, you need a translator. So yeah, and then like you have like the Hadal incident, and all these things, and that's really kind of, so that's kind of what it seemed like that was the entry point for the collapse. And then Darkness 2 was we kind of mentioned was the Dreams of Alphi Lupi. Really, honestly, this one just seems like it's like I read this and I still cannot not see that it's like there is no good or evil. It's just the way things are. Like, it's, because it says no sun complains about its death. Life is the problem. Life can be woven from flesh or circuit or thoughtful light. Or origins don't matter, but small half-smart creatures have a fierce talent for denying the inevitable, for balking and complaining about injustices that don't exist, and consequences that should be borne in silence.
So that card does not encompass one type of being that we see in game, or not in game, but in lore, though.
No, it encompasses all of them.
No, it doesn't.
Life can be woven from flesh, which is humanity and the Elixni.
Nope. I'm thinking back to the gate. The gate where the creatures from the other side come through.
Oh, the tube creatures?
The tube creatures. I can't, is it 113?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
God.
It's the
that was a 9 thing.
Yeah. That's the Cocytus gate.
The Cocytus gate, yes. But it's just the concept that they don't understand deterioration.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that. And I would agree, or I would disagree, because the very first says like the body is made from tiny stuff, from near nothings, from atoms swimming through a blood of crackling sparks. Simple eternal laws shape the beast. And see, the entire point of the Cocytus gate was that they didn't understand those eternal laws, because they didn't understand the concept of entropy.
In our universe, that law follows. But in their universe, where they come from, or where whatever that is comes from, it does not make sense to them. So technically, they don't follow the same rules as we do.
Right. But this one's saying that. So to be clear, are you saying that this is tied to Cocytus?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying that there is an example of a creature that doesn't necessarily follow the idea of.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying like in the soul system, or in our universe, this does explain, like, it explains the organics, it explains the Vex, and thoughtful light. All these things. Kind of, it says life can be woven from flesh or circuit or thoughtful light. I mean, that's basically humans awoken and exos right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes on. Origins don't matter, and you deny the inevitable, which it's life is the problem. It's the whole thing of the natural order of things is you have natural order of life and death, but what this is kind of arguing is that, and this is kind of where you kind of get into the abomination of the hive, because they're saying that life is the problem. So if you cut out life, then you don't have the problem there. But there are those simple eternal laws, and that's where it's kind of the whole thing of like, is the darkness actually an abomination, or is it a continuation of the law of the jungle?
Well, which darkness?
Right. Yeah. I guess that's also.
That's something else.
I mean, if you're to listen to Callus, it almost sounds like the darkness is a giant Ahamkara.
Does anybody want to listen to Callus at this point, though, to be honest? I mean, he's such an unreliable source in many respects.
I don't see himself as an unreliable. Obviously, his playwrights, what are they?
The fan fictions.
The scribes.
Yeah, Chapal.
Black Flag. Yes. He's just lonely, Green.
I don't like him. He can be lonely over on his ship and just stay away from me. He's got a weird fascination with Guardians. I don't want him anywhere near me.
Setting all that aside, he's had firsthand experience with at least something extremely powerful, something more powerful than we have seen.
Yeah.
And
at the edge of the universe thing.
Yeah. And it's like, if something like that exists, arguably, I feel it's safe to say that is a darkness, assuming there are multiple darknesses. And that is a darkness which is literally eating reality, and it's going to be one of the things that we're going to have to stop, because
it's Langoliers.
No. Bad Blue, go to your corner. Now I can't get that out of my head. I hate you. Okay, so I actually want to transition, if we can, into the advanced episode, because I want to continue this thought. I want to continue this thought with the whole Callus thing, and if there are multiple darknesses.
Okay. I'm sorry if I jumped ahead.
No. I think this is a good place to start wrapping up too, because we're getting to that point where we're getting towards time for intro episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is a good teaser for what you'll hear later on in the week.
Delete this footnote when the thing actually happens. God, I love
I hate those scions so much. Blue, say goodbye.
Say goodbye, Blue. I love how chat's like, Blue. No.
Jill Shar wrote those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was her last assignment. John Toe is like,
I'm getting swan song. I'm killing everyone.
Oh no, that was a great revelation for us. But real quick for the intro, to wrap up the intro, just let's do a quick round of just little shout outs. So Anand, do you have any shout outs for the intro session?
I have no idea.
Okay. Green,
He's
do you
so
have any
tired.
shout outs? Green, do you have
So
any shout outs
tired.
for enough?
My shout out is to Anon, and just I kind of want to pet your head, but I'm halfway across the country still awake. I want to have a beer with you at Guardian Con. You need to get your butt there, sir.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to happen last year.
I know.
And then
I
at the
messaged
last
you
minute,
about this.
At the last minute, some stuff was revealed, and I owed a lot of money. And then I found out that I actually didn't owe a lot of money, but the people who claimed I owed a lot of money weren't telling me how they actually owed me money. And so
did you get money out of this whole deal? Because shout out to them for being bad at bookkeeping, but also they're jerks.
I mean, it's the government. How could they be? But so yeah,
no comment.
I should be getting easily my flight down to Florida.
Good.
When everything is all settled, I should be getting the flight money. So
awesome.
Next year is almost definitely locked in now.
See, nice. Okay, here's what I want to see. I want to see you and Mylan, and I want a repeat of the story that happens.
No, absolutely
also involving
not.
Men at Arms.
Absolutely not.
And then
that
if we can convince Log to come,
Log
Power and just get all four of you together.
Anon's gonna die.
Feeding me drinks.
Anon's gonna die.
I was like, Batman, like, I don't have that much money. And every time my drink was empty, he was like, "You're getting another," and I was like, "I don't need another." And he's like, "You're getting another." Great, I'll get another.
The thing is, though, is if you have Man at Arms there, for some reason, Man at Arms has a way of actually wearing Mylan down.
It's
Mylan looked
like amazing.
Like he got ran over by a truck because Man at Arms could outdrink him, and it was impressive.
Well, I mean, I could have kept going, but I would have remembered even less of that night. That was one hell of a 4th of July. God bless America.
That story is still one of my favorite stories. Anyway,
I feel like every time that story gets told, I learn something new.
I'm sure. All right, Blue, do you have a shout out?
Nope. Just congratulations for everyone for surviving the week.
Good job. Thumbs up.
It's been a week.
Yes.
What's that do?
All right. Tail of the line.
Oh my God.
Dying liver. All right. So, as usual, bye. All right.
Because Blue is bad at sign-offs.
Yep. Until next time, goodbye.
I just found out my headphones have a volume slider.
Ooh.
Yay.
These are $10 headphones from TJ Maxx.
What?
TJ Maxx.
Right?
They have a volume slide on there?
Yeah.
I thought that technology was reserved for anything over $100.
Yeah, like normally it's like, I mean, that's crazy. Oh crap, did I mute it?
No, you're good. You're good. You're still awake. You're still alive.
You're still awake. You're still here.
No, like I can turn the volume off on my headphones.
Nice.
That's crazy.
That is really cool. Okay,
right.
So you ready for crazy advance? And Anon, if you were like, I am done, you can, like, if you were...
I don't have work tomorrow. I mean,
Okay.
No, I'm not doing it.
If I had work tomorrow, I'd be getting up in 3 hours anyway. I mean, let's fall asleep.
Well, let's hand him another drink and keep going then.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second.
I looked at Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
No, what's up?
I looked at that Praedyth Ghost travel card. I searched Alabaster uh to see if it mentioned the fallen planet having multiple suns, and it just said an unfamiliar sun.
Yeah,
So
because
sure.
then it had like because it had the perfect alabaster sphere, which was the traveler.
Yeah. This makes me wonder.
Rabbit hole. All right. You guys good to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2. All right. So, welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on September 13th, 2019, over on twitch.tv/Focus Fire Chat as we continue our discussion over a revisiting of the darkness. This particular episode will refer to what we call the advanced session of the week's exploration. Congratulations to those who signed up for a deeper dive. Before we go any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who all we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86.
And this is Green Eye Music Lover, who forgot to come up with a secondary intro.
It's okay.
Hi.
As long as you don't have music and break me again, I'm okay with it.
I didn't break you. I broke YouTube. YouTube got
well,
real
that
mad
was
at me
that
for
was because of the little advert of yours that I put on the front of the show.
I'm sorry. Popular is an amazing song, and they can just deal with my version of it.
They didn't
And if
take
I
it
sound
down,
like,
so whatever.
yeah, I mean, if I sound like Kristen Chenoweth, that's a plus in my book.
Oh, and last but definitely not least, in the hot seat as guest co-host, we have our good friend Anon Pig. Anon, you still awake?
Yeah.
Oh God! So the further into the evening we go, the more like Mylan you're starting to sound.
I was gonna say, I'm like waiting for Matt to just pop up in chat and be like, "Hey, Anon, how you feeling? Good morning."
I love the fact that as part of their PAX Australia, they're like, yes, all the Americans get to feel what we feel when we visit them. I'm like, oh God. Well, enough of the introductory chatter. Let's just dive right back in. I guess for where we just left off is a look at Green's favorite characters, the Scions of Callus.
Well, it wasn't the Scions. It was Callus's interaction with his version of the darkness. Yeah. So, do we have that card? I don't have that card in show notes because I didn't even think of that card because I try to block that man out or monster or whatever he is at this point. Callus's interaction was
it stared back or?
Well,
I mean,
there
it was
multiple.
Yeah.
The Chronicon and Confessions both had perspective of it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Chronicon is a little less reliable, but the first entry of the Chronicon that mentioned it, the scribe who wrote it was exiled
I love that.
for writing things that did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
we think that oxygen deprivation or whatever the deprivation of vacuum. Yeah, because I think there was also It Stared Back was the sword from, what was that?
Yeah.
Was that just vanilla Destiny 2?
Yeah, it was the sword from the raid where it, like, first mentioned that Callus had like seen the darkness or something.
Yeah, because at the event at the edge of the universe we had found something. We had found a nothing. And I think, because this was from Callus's perspective. He says, from the seat of my observation chamber, I stared into the perfect void. Only I, a god, could understand what I witnessed. Which is funny because then he says it's a thing greater than myself.
So
me.
The Chronicon version of it is the one where he says, outside the ship, the Emperor looked over the edge of the universe and saw nothing. That is not, it wasn't that he saw nothing unusual, but he saw capitalize nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
And that's kind of the line that a lot of people are going to as far as the darkness in this card, because darkness is described as capitalized nothing.
Absence.
Absence of
Absinthe.
Is it time for a drink? I think it is.
Yeah, because that's the second entry in the Chronicon where you see, what is it, Tlazat make comments about like, or yeah, Talzat, whatever that guy's name is.
Whatever Jill intended to make us try to say because she thinks it's funny.
Because that's where like the Leviathan was like shuddering and everything, and all the Scions are like having these massive headaches. Yeah, 12 others are bleeding from their ears. Like, that's fun.
Yeah. So what's actually interesting, I always forget that this part happened. In that line or in that paragraph, it goes on to say, nothing, blah blah blah, nothingness, blah blah blah, and suddenly the nothingness dispersed to show capital something, which was a fleet of foreign ships. And am I making it up, or was there a cutscene where that was depicted?
A cutscene where the darkness subsided and you see a bunch of ships?
Where
I mean, there was the vision from the very beginning of Destiny 2.
No, it was I distinctly remember seeing like a hole in the universe being depicted and then pyramid ships coming out of it. And it had to be
because like the times that I remember the pyramid ships is the vision, right, where it's over the water, and that they do kind of come out of nowhere, and there's a lot of them. But then there's also the end of D2.
Light reaches out and touches.
Right.
It.
Well, no. Like the vision on Io, where you're like where you're swooping down and everything, and then you go over the water and you see all like the dead bodies underneath the water.
Oh,
that was like at the very beginning of D2, I think. I want to say.
Yeah, it's the one as soon as you
it's like super trippy
up, right?
Yeah, it's like super trippy, and it's amazing at the same time. It's got like the actually the image of the banner that is for this week, that's from that it's a still from that cutscene. It's one of the like faces that's shattering apart because like the faces come out of the water and they're like covered in like this vicious oil type stuff, or vicarious oil.
Viscous.
Thank you, that word. Gosh, man,
the oil was
that
so
one,
mean.
It was mean. It was a symbiote. It wanted Spider-Man, but then like they shatter. But then there's also a scene of like the pyramid ships, and you can also see the reflection of them on the water. But then also, then there's the after credit scene on D2 where the light wave pops out and the pyramid ships reactivate, but there was no hole that they jumped through in that one.
I want to vision from the beginning of D2.
It's super. I love watching that little cutscene.
It's like Shadowkeep's gonna drop, and they're gonna have this cutscene that's exactly what I just described, and everyone's gonna lose their mind.
You just
I see what you're saying. I just found the paragraph that you're talking about. Okay. Out of the nothing there came whispering a dark language, which filled his head so loud that he forgot a moment his own language. And suddenly the nothingness dispersed to show something, which was a fleet of foreign ships.
Which something is capitalized as well.
Right. Yes. Correct. Which would also correspond. Excuse me. Which would correspond similar to the vision that we saw, because the thing that he is explaining, the destruction of great many worlds and creatures, that is similar to the vision that we see with the river with all the corpses underneath. It's like a floor of I kind of refer to them as like the terracotta armies. Like they look like they're just statues, but they're like all there's some that look like children. Like there's a really weird thing going on, and then the rot and the fragmentation of his own corpse and skeleton, that would again be similar to the figures emerging.
Yeah, no, in the vision, the pyramids appear to be floating at the beginning, and then they drop into the water.
They drop into the water, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing that really happens. Then you see the Leviathan, and then the super manifestations.
Because a spear, yeah. remember the. Yeah, coordinator in chat. It's a Dead Marshes, the Lord of the Rings reference. Yeah, I can see that. Or what is it? The Fifth Ring of Hell, the frozen plain. Or no, that would be Cocytus. That would be the Ninth Ring of Hell, actually, technically. Huh. Didn't think about that one.
That's an interesting connection.
Was a river.
Well, Cocytus is in Dante's Inferno. Cocytus is it is a river, but it's also the ice fields that Lucifer is trapped within.
Let's see. So, okay. If the thing that Callus saw was the darkness and the ships are revealed because the darkness disperses, do you think it actually has a field like capability of just like dampening all ability to see anything? Because that's what it kind of is saying in those cards.
You mean like a darkness zone?
Like a darkness zone? Like that's another card in itself. And I think I pulled that one.
Because darkness zones are also darkness zones are pretty much that. They are dampening of the communication.
Well, dampening of the effects of the light.
Right. Well, I kind of was meaning like the communication between the ghost and the guardian and the traveler.
Mm-hmm. It's in the first one. So I had the claim the darkness is the antithesis to the traveler and the light, and the ancient apocalypse robes talks about how it produced a field that repressed light, and that's the robes for Gambit, like a darkness zone, but contained a gooey, vacuous form with no head. The anti-light fields we had detected from orbit that spread across the planet? It was these things. Our ship scanners indicated thousands of them were on this planet with us.
Yeah, I refer to them as the light y'all saw us.
Mm-hmm. So this is like the creatures when Drifter's out doing his exploration and his outer planet type things. When he finds the ice planet with all the monoliths, this is
Destiny Hoth.
Yes, Destiny Hoth.
I love the resignation in your voice. Yes.
I'm glad there's no tauntauns. At least that we know of. But the creature, it talks about the creature and the possibility. Is this an example of a different type of the darkness? It's the creature version of the darkness. Do we think that's what this guy is?
Oh, like a feral.
Mm-hmm. Concentrated. Because it produced a field that repressed light like a darkness zone, but it was contained to a gooey, vacuous form with no head. Thoughts?
I've been really hung up on that cutscene that I swear.
It's like, I'm gonna find this thing.
Yeah,
you did not hallucinate it. Hopefully.
There's so many things that I swear to God Bungie's putting out, and I'm like the only one that sees it, and then they take it down and they're just laughing at me. They're like, he's gonna look so stupid. I saw Gallahorn in that Forsaken trailer. No one can tell me I didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I've had 3 other people, without me telling them where I saw it, repeat back to me the same place that I saw it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe? Possibly? The Forsaken trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Blue, do you have any thoughts on... I'm just going to go back into darkness because I don't want to get into a Gallahorn talk. I don't know how to... It's just like, I don't know.
And I don't know what to do with that. Anyway, so, the darkness.
So you were talking about the things that the Drifter saw?
Yeah.
As being an aspect of darkness?
Because they have a darkness field which is similar to the fields that we experience.
I mean, are they a darkness field, or are they or are those one and the same?
Right.
It depends on if the darkness quote unquote is a force, as well as having
anti-light properties.
Well,
I
not
mean,
just
if the darkness itself has light suppressing abilities, which the light also has,
the void, yeah.
Yeah, there is already light suppressing abilities that is used within the powers of the light. But if the darkness had that, then we're screwed. Like, there's no fighting it. So it feels like, while those could be like an aspect of the darkness, or an entity empowered by the darkness, they are not the darkness itself.
Right, but thinking of back to D1, when darkness fields were like the thing that we really ran into all the time, you still got your super. You still generated light. It's not like they completely took everything away, unless you were in a nightfall, which that was its own.
Yeah, but even then, you'd
problem by
still
itself.
generate your super.
Right. So you're still able to have your powers. You're still able to generate light and cut through the darkness in some ways. It was there used to be a theory that, well, still kind of is a theory, that Blue and Justin put forth about how the darkness zone is basically a suppression zone for like the radio waves of the ghost being able to connect to the traveler, giving the light or whatever. Don't know. So if the creatures aren't themselves venues of the darkness, or I'm having a hard time coming up with the name for 'em, their own guardians of the darkness, essentially. Is the darkness just a force then, and not an entity in and of itself?
I mean, I guess my debate back, or my counterpoint back to that, is like, well, what would you classify the light then? Is the light just a force?
It has something directing it each time.
Right, but I mean, that doesn't negate the concept that it could just be a force. I mean, forces can be steered and directed. I mean, look at a basic.
But is the traveler just an avatar essentially of the light, and not actually the light itself?
See, I kind of argue that it is. I don't think the traveler is the light.
And so there's just the dark mirror of it, having an avatar of the darkness.
Which, I mean, that also kind of ties into my kind of personal theory that there's not really a dark or a light force. It's just force, and your application of it is not necessarily the absence of it, because because it kind of ties into like my view of like air quote around light being similar to like anima, which is the animating power of the universe. It's like there's not an absence of it, because if there wasn't, there's no such thing as like an absence of that. It's just your application of it is kind of similar to your either egocentrical or allocentrical application is going to determine the moral use of that power. Like, a living creature is going to see death as evil. It's because it's the antithesis of life. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily evil. Like, it's Dancing is talking about that in chat right now. A darkness for us, it might be someone else's light. Our light will be someone else's darkness.
Meaning maybe the creatures from
well, and like for
I'm just gonna keep throwing that out.
For the Destiny Hoth creatures. I mean, like they could be, for them, that could be they're defending their territory, right? I mean, it
possibly. Anon, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I had 2 points. The Drifter, well, on that planet, he was stuck there, so he hunted down his crew. He took their ghosts. He used their parts to upgrade his ghost. His ghost can no longer speak. Has a red eye, or I think they called it a red eye function. Is that like a direct reference to Doctor Who?
No, because it can flip between blue eye and red eye.
But that's what I mean.
Like is it like a reference to the
because
to the Ood?
Well, not to the Ood. Remember the library episode where Rivers like just use the red.
For the
and he's like
for the
what function?
The what function? Yeah, dude, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That's
either way. But he talks about how his ghost can now tap into the dark, or he can tap into a wider spectrum of light than we have. So it kind of is to say that, like, there's more than what we are even capable of doing, like, out there. But like,
yeah, and that plays. I mean, that plays into the entire use of the word light, right? Because I mean, if you think of light like the spectrum of light, it's much farther. It's a much wider spectrum than just the visual spectrum. I mean, the what we see, what we perceive, is only like a sliver of it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, yeah, that's a very good
It's point. Just like he's one that always has these lines about how we should be using the dark. We're dumb for not using the dark. The time where using void was seen as heretical, etc., stuff like that, where it's like, okay, so you can use the dark, and your ghost, because you cannibalized other ghosts, it gives you access to that power. And it sounds almost like light and dark, kind of like Ulan Tan suggests, are a balance. They're two opposing forces, but they're on the same spectrum.
It's the same coin, but different sides.
Yeah.
I mean, another example of that too, with Mara's creation of the Shattered Throne area, because it talks about that in when Eris talks to her or talks about it
on Final Shapes.
Mm-hmm.
A throne world made for the light.
Yeah, I think she calls it "but by the darkness itself."
Yeah,
or like, where is it? Asher, I saw a throne world built for the light, built with darkness, of course, and the bitter logic of swords, but built for light.
Which is kind of, when did Unfinal Shapes come out? Was that a Forsaken thing?
It is.
Because that just doesn't really make sense, because Mara expresses that she doesn't use sword logic, she uses bomb logic.
That's true. But that's not necessarily going to be something that Eris would understand, is it? Because Eris is so tied up in the hive that she would understand sword logic more.
Yeah, and because bomb logic is, to some degrees, a similar...
It's another spectrum.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I was looking for it. I just want to make sure I found it. As Blue was saying, the whole concept of a darkness zone, it was in No Res for the Weary, where the Guardian gets stuck in whatever the hell they get stuck into. God. Why can't I bring them back? If a Guardian falls into Titan's methane sea, they don't die. They do not die instantly, but we can bring them back. If a Guardian... Oh, is that the right line?
Yeah, because he's talking to the future War Cult people.
Is that the one where he gets stuck in the everlasting...
He's trying to stop the... Yeah, he's trying to stop the core from a core from exploding. He's trying to hit the button, and he's... Yeah.
It was the right card. It was the wrong line. I should have highlighted it. But the ghost says, but all ghosts know there are places where we cannot bring our guardians back to life, and this is one of them. Why? Is the darkness gathered against us here? Is the light too weak? And then I think I know why. Some share my theory. What do we believe? It goes on, but it suggests, it kind of confirms the concept that a darkness zone is just a place where it's almost like the darkness is strong enough to block the ability of light to revive, I guess.
Interesting. So if the darkness can just block us, that's kind of game over.
Yeah,
in some
absolutely.
respects.
Unless we can just block them blocking us.
I trump your trump card.
I forgot what it was called.
But so do we think the darkness cannot ever be understood? That was one of the other claims I heard in the question of the week.
I'm sorry. I'm stuck on the fact that now all I
Trap
can think
Jammer.
of Trap Jammer, or I was thinking, I don't know if either of you are familiar with the manga Freezing.
Did I break both of you with this?
No, it's like your explanation of like the whole like, no, you're gonna block my blocking, but I'm gonna block your blocking and my blocking and my block. That's like the entirety of this manga. It's like this just like endless chain of people blocking each other's abilities.
I just have Yu-Gi-Oh stuck in my head now.
Yeah, that's what I had
That's
to look
fine.
up. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in years.
Mm-hmm.
Or the blue deck on Magic the Gathering. I'm
You know,
counterspell, your
Yu-Gi-Oh was supposed
counterspell.
to end with GX. Did you know that?
What's that?
Yu-Gi
Really?
the anime series, the writer wanted it to end with GX, and then like the producers or whatever were like, but we have this whole concept for 5Ds, and the writer's like, all right, I guess, and then it just kept going.
Oh gosh.
But he was like, no, this is the end of the story. Like, you can keep making the cards, but this is the end of the story. And they just kept fucking going nuts.
I mean, isn't that kind of what's going on with Pokemon? Not to divulge into a
Well, they're
totally other
rebooting it.
subject.
Yeah,
but
they're rebooting it.
But there's a theory going around that Ash is not going to be the character anymore. That they're getting rid of him.
I really hope that they can just continue Origins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're getting rid of him.
Well, that's what I mean, because Origins followed Red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the
Which
fun
was
thing
amazing.
about Origins,
which is amazing.
Yeah, the best thing about Origins though was that it was red and blue, and red picks fire because of his name, blue picks water because of his name. But in the Japanese version, it's red and blue. In the American version, it's red and green. And so green picks water because of his name.
Weird.
Like it said, like, I will pick water. My name right. No.
Listen, listen, Algae.
So I'm gonna redirect us back.
Sorry.
No, you're absolutely okay. This is part of my job. I'm gonna redirect us back to the idea that the darkness can't be comprehended. And this is kind of like the debate we're continuing to have anyway, is the fact, can we actually understand the darkness? Or is it just the Force from Star Wars in a totally different universe and everyone's just going to be banging their heads against the wall?
Are you saying the darkness the enemy or the darkness the powers?
See, are we actually going to define them as two different things?
I would.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the thing, is like the darkness, the power, I think is arguably a little bit clearer in my mind, because it's the opposite of the light as a power. It's where I get a little confused is, like, are we saying that that's the same as the, because again, I don't see them as being I don't see the powers as being sentient necessarily.
Right, and that's where I'm thinking that there is only darkness the Force rather than darkness the beings, because if you have darkness, like, you can have avatars of the darkness, which we've discussed as far as like the hive being the one that we interact with the most. Are they just avatars of the darkness like we are avatars of the light, and there aren't actual creatures of the darkness, quote unquote, named the darkness? There's no sentience to the darkness, that it's just a force being utilized by these creatures. If that's the case, how in the world did Callus hear whispers out there?
Well, he just found another avatar.
Yeah, exactly. Until an avatar can be understood. And until the avatar is understood, like until we knew what the Hive were the darkness.
Mhm.
Now we know what the Hive are.
Same as the Fallen.
And coming in Shadow, yeah, exactly. And in Shadowkeep, we have a darkness coming. And then we're going to understand it, and it's not going to be a darkness. It's going to be
an avatar of it.
Literally any word other than the veil.
Right. That was actually one of the other questions I wanted to bring up. Is the darkness the veil?
I really hope.
You hope
strictly on terminology standpoint, because the veil is
means
a term
something unknown.
Well, and I mean because the veil is a term in Destiny already. So for them to be like, yes, the veil. It's like, wait, like the veil from before? No, another veil. Oh, okay.
I mean, conflating terms is not something we've never seen in Destiny.
Yeah, but I really love it for them to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I would really love it for them to stop.
like with the Leviathan, like the Leviathan came out and everyone's like, oh my god, the Leviathan, the Books of Sorrow. And then Seth was like, I probably should have called it Behemoth.
Probably shouldn't call it the same exact thing that Books of Sorrow was.
Yeah. And then they retconned it to be like the Leviathan, a ship named for that which whatever the Hive. Like what? That's I mean, okay, I guess. You can make that work. I'm fine with that, but I know the truth.
At least they made some clarification to it.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. Okay, so we have avatars of the darkness. Whether or not the veil are the darkness in that way too. Is the ultimate thing that's going to happen is us just fighting them? Is that the end? I'm thinking from a physics standpoint, when you have the antimatter meet the matter and it just annihilates, is that just what's going to happen to us? Is that our destiny?
I hope our guardian dies.
And cut.
Well, I mean, you're just saying like our destiny, it's like us fighting them, and you're making it sound like forever.
Right.
And us humanity fighting them forever. Yeah, of course. Like I am absolutely dead orbit, but that doesn't mean I don't agree with future war. Of course, there's always going to be a war. I just don't want to fight this war. I'm tired of it.
I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
I want to go to that war. That war is new. Like, I'm still for the wars, just not this one.
Just go through the Vex gate and somehow get to the Vex world, and you'll be fine.
Let's go to that. Let's go do that war.
That looks fun. Let's do that one.
I just need some variety in my life.
All right. Speaking of variety, I'm gonna tilt this question a different way. Are the Vex avatars of the darkness?
No.
I don't think they were originally, but I think they became.
Okay.
Okay.
Explain.
Because it all started, with Savathun knocking over the dominoes that led Crota to cutting the hole in Oryx's throne, letting the Vex in. The Vex find the larva. The Vex take the larva, create Quoria, practice worship. They whether the larva was the thing that we destroyed in whether the larva was the black heart, the black heart was created from studying the larva, which is what I personally believe, or the black heart was just another object that was found, and then because of their prior designations of worship, they were like, yes, let's worship this as well. Whatever the case may be, they were put on a path of darkness avatarism.
If the black heart is indeed aspects of the darkness, do we believe that that's what that is? Because there's cards that talk about how the things within the Black Garden, the entity or the thing within the Black Garden is continuing to grow. Even though we destroyed the initial heart, quote unquote, it's still, the Black Garden still exists.
Well,
And it's
multiple black gardens exist, and
right.
that's where that's the issue. It's the Vex have contingency plans, but
Because the Vex are blue.
there
What?
there was so much terminology where it was saying like, "Oh, you defeated the Black Heart," like that's a huge win for the traveler. Like that's
Right.
gonna allow it to begin to heal.
Do we think that it's, and then that's going to go back to a question we had about the Black Garden, but is the Black Heart poisonous to the traveler in so much that it is like a shard of the traveler? Like we had the mission back on the moon with the hive and the shard that was corrupting and poisoning things.
Oh my god, is Destiny Hancock?
I'm nodding. You can't see it, but I'm nodding. This is something I've been trying to not necessarily drive somebody to. I just wanted somebody else to have this realization without me just outright saying it.
It's like, please, just go away. We can both exist. Just go away. That's crazy. I gotta watch that movie again.
It's a good movie. Hey, Blue, that's something I've seen.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. So, if the darkness has avatars and it's a force, it's not necessarily evil, which Kairos function talks about that a little bit too. Darkness is not merely absence of light, it's an entity unto itself. That actually points out in Kairos function that it's an entity unto itself, which is back from the Curse of Osiris expansion. Darkness is not nothing.
Who was the one that said earlier that the darkness was like the chaos while the light was order?
That was Wicked in all the way back in the introduction session with his theory.
Yeah. That's where I feel like there might be like it might be kind of like when you sign up with the darkness, you're signing up for the chaos. When you're signing up with the light, you're signing up for the order.
But is it chaos for them?
Well, I mean, chaos for them is order, but what I mean is like just you're signing up for A or you're signing up for B. However you view it, you know, obviously they don't see themselves as the bad guy. They're doing what they're supposed to do, just like we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Right.
But
it's Tiamat versus whoever the good guy is in your campaign.
Dragon Shadow.
There you go.
F Tiamat.
Yeah.
Yeah, friggin' mother of dragon.
I may have hit a soft spot.
Yeah. What was the question?
It was the Kairos function.
Yeah, that the darkness is an entity of its own.
And this is the Osiris expansion. I mean, it's kind of speculated that this is Osiris talking. Or Sister Feora, depending on if you're believing the quote at the top.
I definitely am. I definitely do. I no longer attribute anything from the Osiris cults to be Osiris.
Okay.
Unless expressly said.
I kind of agree with that. I mean, that's what the webcomics pretty much confirmed a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is like he's like they're insane.
Like even the parables of the offspring. Like is Osiris the offspring? Like has that been said somewhere? Because if not, then the offspring is just I don't care. Like I don't know who the lunatic was that says this stuff, but it's unimportant to me.
So what about Osiris's obsession with the darkness? Because there's multiple cards where he talks about it with Ikora specifically, and just brings up his obsession with figuring out how to beat the darkness through the venue of the Vex, using the Vex technology to do that. Do we think that's even possible at this point?
Well, the Vex.
I mean, the Vex can't simulate paracausality, and if the darkness is another aspect of paracausality.
I don't think that's true anymore.
No?
Well,
No,
because the
because
Saint 14.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they were able to create a mind that feed off Saint 14's light. God, what's the other line about it? In Curse of Osiris, he said they're simulating your light or something like that.
Oh no, yeah,
Sagira,
yeah.
and
Well, there's the whole scene with the Vault of Glass thing. At the
yeah,
very
and that
beginning.
too. They were clearly like they're getting there. It sounds like it was just a matter of this is a very complex algorithm, and they couldn't figure it out right away. And it took them 100 years. But what's 100 years to the Vex?
So if Vex are able to simulate paracausality, I
Isn't
mean,
Then
that
they
isn't
could,
that a fun thought?
that's
yeah.
a terrifying thought.
I mean,
'Cause
the
that
Vex there's the Vex future where there's no light and no dark. So
Right.
it sounds like Osiris is like, all right, so let's figure out how they got rid of the dark, and then we'll get rid of them.
We can reverse engineer this. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, he's Dr. Shim.
If we throw enough monkeys at it, we will get it.
I mean, how many different simulations did they send through? Was it 144 or 112?
Yeah.
217.
There we go.
And the funny
Wait,
thing
no, it
is
wasn't.
like the funny thing is that Osiris is doing exactly that.
227.
227. There we go. I was like, I know it wasn't 117. That would have been way too easy.
Yeah, because it's a clan. That's how I remember.
But I mean, like you said, that is exactly what Osiris is doing. He's going through with his own.
He's going through with his own simulations of himself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's Shim.
227
If this
of them.
ever comes to light that he is Shim, I am going to like scream from the top of Long's Peak, and just like the entirety of the U.S. will hear me. That
Green's
I was
like,
right about
I was
this.
right.
That'd be crazy if his simulated science, the Shim simulations, when Osiris was revived, like assuming Osiris is Shim, when he got revived, if they just like all changed, and like just the other scientists are like, what the fuck?
What happened?
Oh,
like,
God.
why are you wearing bird?
Why are you wearing bird?
Dancing Veru. Osiris is Shim and the speaker is Dwayne.
Oh, God. I mean, that would have explained why they don't get along.
Either that or Tolan's Dwayne.
Tolan's way smarter than Dwayne. I'm sorry. I will say that. Tolan is way more intelligent than Dwayne is. Because Dwayne is such a doofus.
I'm really hoping, like, because it would just be like such a trip to learn that in Shadowkeep, Tolan did not succeed in shucking his body with Iryu, and he just died.
And we've been following some false light.
Yep. That we've just been played for like 3 years now.
I swear I saw a Destiny lore Reddit post where somebody speculated that it's been Zavathun this whole time, which, granted, Zavathun is
everything.
I mean, she's Schrodinger's worm at this point, right? Because that's the whole joke at this point. But
well, it's just when the trailers for Shadowkeep came out and there were 5 apparitions floating around Aerith, everyone was like, "Oh, that's her fire team," and I was like, "It can't be her fire team."
Yeah, because
Tolan didn't die.
Yeah.
Well, Tolan's body died. It's just his spirit or whatever, if there is such a thing in Destiny.
Yeah, but
was not contained with that.
These aren't the bodies.
But then what's the apparition?
Yeah, because they're not solid bodies, and they're not the hive that we saw in Shadowkeep, at first I was like, oh wait a second, those are this hidden swarm. But then we actually saw their titles and their nightmare thrall, their nightmare acolytes. Yeah. So they're actually revived hive.
Another theory of mine. Another the one from Guardian Con, where I was just like, it's just this, and Blues talked about this multiple times. It's just like it's a nightmare of heiresses that we're living through. It is literally our own nightmares brought back to us.
I mean, the emphasis on psychology, and it's a psychological expansion. It's a psychological. I'm like,
so you're saying the end of the expansion is going to be, and it was all a dream.
You know, it may be more of
the moon will snap back to normal at the end of season 9.
Oh God, and everything just disappear, and we don't see it anymore.
The Vex will be like, gotcha.
That would be infuriating. But think about the concept of the dark and what the idea of veil in a totally different sense. Something veiled over your eyes, blocking you from seeing the truth or whatnot. Maybe that's something we actually get to experience firsthand in Shadowkeep.
I was hoping for more of that. Well, in retrospect, I was hoping for more of that with being an Ahamkara, because it just felt like there's so much they could have done and they didn't do.
There's so much they still can do with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we fight more Ahamkara, like specifically Ahamkara abilities, like the Riven fight, like you have an Ahamkara, but really, it's just a boss. Like there's like established things that an Ahamkara can do, and it was just kind of there. And it's like, I mean, the fight is still amazing.
Black Garden. Ahamkara came from the Black Garden.
Says who?
Says Aldrin.
What?
Didn't Aldrin?
No, he didn't. No. He didn't bring it back
from
the
from Venus.
He brought it back from Venus.
No. Yeah.
He brought the flowers back from the Black Garden.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And On's like, wait, what?
That would have been amazing.
He found the Ahamkara when they were living just in asteroids, and then he found the Black Garden when they were an established society,
trying to impress Mara.
Yeah,
but
he was like, "I literally brought you a dragon. That's not good enough. Here's a flower."
Yeah, because they said that they were going to plant the flowers in the Dreaming City, which was created after Riven.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if the planting of the flowers within the Dreaming City is actually the first planting of the darkness within the Dreaming City.
That's what Veru just said in chat.
Well, I don't know, because the darkness is always referred to as the flower eater.
There's also the aspect that Mara used the darkness as well to shape her throne.
Yeah, like darkness was used to make the Dreaming City already. The Awoken are part light, part dark as it is. Like, I don't think they needed the flowers to introduce the darkness to their city.
Interesting. If Mara's using the darkness to help create her city, though, that is like, my brain is having a hard time wrapping around it, because obviously it's being utilized for the light. That's one of the things that's said in that card, is it is a throne used for the light, but it was created by darkness.
Because her whole game is to beat the darkness.
Her whole game is to survive and be beyond everything.
Well, I mean, to save humanity, which would mean beating the darkness.
And
actually, if there's no possible way, because that has to prove that there's at the very least multiple conceptual darknesses, because there's no possible way that the thing that devours the universe was in our solar system and was then pushed back. So like, what? It just threw up the planets? Like, it ate them, but they're back now.
Unless it's a multiverse.
God damn it, no. Bleep. Bleepity bleep. Bleep bleep. Bleep bleep bleep.
And we're done.
Not supposed to curse on this episode. Not supposed to curse on any FFC episodes, but you managed to still bring it out in me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we end up bleep. Guess get a pass. It's just me. I get
chat.
Oh my God,
not safe for work, did. Blue. Oh, I am proud of myself.
Yeah. You managed to do it in a different way. I've been ignoring private chat, and you haven't even put anything in private chat.
I haven't put anything in there yet. That's why. Surprise attack!
Yeah. I was expecting it. I have. Yeah, normally Blue, during the episodes, tries to get me to just completely lose my train of thought by pushing memes or videos or just stupid things into chat where I'm like, stop that. Like, I just can't finish my thought because he broke me. But no, he's did a sneak attack today with this whole thing instead. Are there any other closing thoughts or theories regarding well, we can even just go into Shadowkeep theories regarding the darkness and Shadowkeep, because that's ultimately what we're heading towards.
They in a Vidoc, they said Eris woke up a hidden darkness.
A ravenous creature, I think. Hang on. I have this written down because
well, they definitely you might be thinking of a separate thing, or
I think
what they further said, but they said that
a hidden darkness. Yeah. Eris is the
darkness that we've known.
Yeah. Eris is the catalyst. She woke up the beast. She discovered something under the moon, a hidden darkness. And then they often they reference also a lot of stories about the history of humanity are going to be shared.
So a hidden darkness.
Yeah,
that's a fun thing to talk about.
Which would call back the Ocean of Storms ghost fragment with the alien birthing chamber room.
Why am I remembering that?
It's the one with the poor human who wanders into the room with all the face huggers. Is what I refer to him as, because all I can see on the let me pull it up, because all I can read
one where he's
running out of oxygen, and he's like, I'm hear something waking. I'm like, oh nope, that's a face hugger. Like, get out of there.
All ships immediately repeat and relay.
Yeah, because First Light got front row seats to the collapse on the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess the hellmouth ripped open. Imagine being on the moon and being like,
"Oh God,
what's that?"
Beep 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 beep. Suddenly, we started speaking in binary. No, that was just censored. Oceans of Storms 2. This thing is so... I'm just going to read this because I cannot not see this as a face hugger. It says, so Ghost Fragments, the Oceans of Storm 2, last known records from Lunar Station First Light. The tunnels were geological in nature, or had to be. That's what we thought until 12 hours into the second sublunar expedition when we found the bones. A single long rib cage, the size of an aircraft fuselage. The living creatures themselves we found 100 meters down. They might have been worms, if worms had scales and teeth and moved more quickly than a man could run. June died first, and then Luli. Bad deaths. Deaths not worth talking or thinking about, and so I don't, as I wander these tunnels lost, waiting to run out of oxygen. Will it hurt, I wonder, that final sleep when it comes? The sleep that isn't sleep? But then everything on the moon is named for what it's not. Have you noticed? The Sea of Serenity, Ocean of Storms, the Sea of Rains. It's only fitting. In the tunnels, though, we found things that were exactly what they were, and so now I name them thus. Mark them well, if this recording is found. The Circle of Bones, the Chamber of Night. One does not walk amid these dark tunnels and not lose something. They say to look upon the ocean is to feel small, but to walk in these caverns is to feel your grasp on reality slipping. There is no returning to what you were before, a believer of science and the fundamental rationality of the universe, not after seeing those worms. But here now at the bottom I have found the other side of the nightmare. like waking from a dream only to realize you were still asleep. Perhaps my oxygen is getting low. Yes, I can see it is. Hypoxia already setting in. The thing before me is like myself, partly alive and partly not. An ossified afterbirth, a pulsating tumor. It lays in a crater of its own making, dark and jagged. So here I'll sit and lay me down. I see a doorway, and within the death-white egg cases of nightmares yet to come. And glad I am to miss it.
How much you want to bet this is the inspiration for Shadowkeep?
Oh yeah, no, I think it is too. But my point is the ending is all I can see is the facehugger birthing chamber, the little eggs with the little flower at the top. It's like nope, get out, get out.
Look at Titan. We deal with eggs of the hive and Titan and have to kill them in the very first mission.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing in Shadowkeep though isn't hive.
Yeah, but I mean, neither is technically this.
It's not listed as hive.
Yeah, but
I mean, this is first light. Do we know? We don't know when this recording was.
So this is before the hive.
This would be during the golden age, probably.
We don't know.
It should be during the collapse when they came
yeah.
in. Yeah.
The other thing Veru brought up in chat is that this is not the first time we've seen June or Jun.
Yes, that is true.
Because Jun was also brought up during the transmission event, or not the transmission. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. It's when we all got infected by the Siva mites.
Mm-hmm.
The ARG that we had.
He's mentioned with glory, splendor, and magnificence.
That has to be someone else.
I think it is someone else though, because I'm trying to.
I agree.
One died and the other didn't.
Well, because June in the June in the God, what was this called? Transmission Crisis. Gosh, just blanked on it. He was a patient of Shirazi on Mars.
Oh,
June was also was he a scientist, former scientist?
Shin?
No, that's Shu.
Shun.
Shu. Yeah,
That's
Shun.
Shu?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Shu, Shun, whatever
Shun.
the play toy of Ikora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Corey. Because June is the one that he's patient E.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that receives Glory 2.1. And he goes like super paranoid.
But so then what happened first?
We don't know when this was, but it almost sounds like the human, like not guardians necessarily.
Well, and that's what I was saying is like
didn't every human infected with splendor, glory, etc. like die?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
thought one survived. I thought one walked away.
Well, he did. I don't know if he walked away, but I don't think we have record of his death. I think it might have been June.
Because then if he walked away and he was like, I'm getting out of this Mars crap. I'm going
I'm going to
the moon.
I'm going to the moon. Nothing bad happens there. This guy has the worst. Like, I don't know who Bungie is basing this guy off of.
I mean,
he's got the worst luck ever.
This would have to happen, like this card, the Oceans of Storms 2, though, has to happen way before the transmission event, because we already have the names, and my dog's barking and asleep next to me. We have the, it's kind of adorable. We have the names of the locations on the moon from Vanilla D1. Like, that is in this card. The Sea of Serenity, the Chamber of Night, Circle of Bones.
In the Golden Age.
Did it?
Those events. Shirazi's Golden Age.
Oh, that's true.
Shirazi is Golden Age. Hang on.
Shoot.
I think I might have found something. Hang on. Dark. Where did my card go? Because the
live action lore.
Yeah, gosh. Splendor 2.6 has June and Kit actually trying to ally with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
June and Kit are two of the experiments that Shirazi was over. June is talking to Kit and says, we have to tell the truth about Clovis Bray. We know they don't. Kit says we have to be cautious. We'll be alone for a while. No one will believe us at first. Kit says, I've been through harder things. You in? I'm in. And because that's when Zavala and Ikora are like, oh, I didn't realize that we had a protest against Clovis Bray. That's when Kate's like, really? Are you surprised?
Could you imagine if June went through the transmission event, and everything, still was sort of infected with Siva, died on the moon, and the Siva aspect somehow birthed this whole crazy thing that we're getting ready to go into? I highly doubt that's actually the case.
My brain hurts.
No, that's definitely what it is. It's red, it's Siva, the end.
But Jude wasn't red. He was the yellow one, I thought.
None of them were red. The only red ones were the devils.
No. Yeah, the Siva-mites, but in the transmission, what was it? It was blue, yellow, purple, green, and white?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no red.
No. Siva was red.
Mm-hmm. And that was just because of the devil's manifestation of it, wasn't it? Or was Siva red by itself?
I think Siva was red by itself, but Siva was not what was in the transmission.
Oh my gosh. And then we have fail-safe with Siva too, and it's just going back to that.
Fail-safe's like, what's this? No.
And Aramis wants Siva now, so she'll end up on the moon to get this Siva.
singing an aria as she does it.
What? Why?
Did you have you not had that voice line from her where her and Asher are getting the argument?
What?
She like failsafe is screaming across the con. Oh. I thought we were talking about failsafe. I didn't realize you said Aramis. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
I was real confused. I was like, who's singing an aria randomly?
That's the failsafe was singing. And Asher's like, shut up!
I think that's when you land and you're next to some of the radio boxes.
Yeah, it's on it's in the wherever Devrim is.
EDZ.
Mm-hmm.
Trostland,
that's right. And then right. Dancing's also the fragment with the thrall and the obsidian chip from the stolen intelligence entry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. I'm having trouble not necessarily finding any more threads, but finding the willpower to pull up any more threads. Because we could bring up Truth to Power, we could bring up Stolen Intelligence, we can bring up so many different aspects, because you could have the dark be behind so much in some respects, either named personally or just as agents of the dark, since they're enemies necessarily. But I don't know. What do you think, Blue?
I would agree. I think it's good place to let Anon go to sleep. And have him dream up more. Have him dream up more cutscenes that don't exist.
It existed, man.
It existed. I'll take it. Like if he finds it, like I'll take it.
You'll see.
You'll
all see.
You sound a little like Beard now. You were really coming full circle on us.
Oh man. All right. So all right, shout outs. Anon, what shout outs do you have?
We just went through this.
Okay. Green, what shout outs do you have?
Episode 2. Refer to episode 1.
Take 2. I don't have any.
I don't know what they are.
Shout outs to the community for all the fun responses to this week's question of the week. That is my shout out. You guys are fun.
Well, we appreciate it. And Anon, thank you so much for joining us, jumping on. I know we've chatted a lot, and so it's nice to get to sit across the country and chat, but still, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us on that one.
Time out of sleep.
Time out of sleep. So with that being said, you guys, we will see you later. Next week, I believe we have Crucible Stories, I think is what's going to be on the next week's, if I remember that correctly. So looking forward to that. And as always, you guys I hope you guys have a great week. We'll probably be chatting with you by the time you hear this episode. It'll be a couple hours, and then we'll be on for the next week. So bye.
Oh, Anon.
Should I stop recording now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
I hope my audio. Oh man, I hope my audio looks kind of low.
That's fine. If worse comes to worse, I have a backup on it.
Oh no, actually, it was just yeah. Okay, yeah, that's kind of low.
And if I have yeah, and I can since it'll be on a separate track, I can normalize it.
Export. Do you want it as a wave?
Whichever's easiest for you. I won't be around to edit it until tomorrow night anyways, so if it takes forever to upload, then whatever.
Cinnamon?
What's the difference between 16-bit PCM and 32-bit float PCM?
I defer to Green on those questions.
I actually don't know.
I'm just going to make it an MP3.
I'll look that up later. What episode number is this?
180.
Thank you. I know the title of that. It just knowing what we're on.
Darkness.
Sleep. Darkness. Darkness falls.
I got a second win there for like a minute.
Yeah, because we stopped talking about darkness and started talking about Shadowkeep. And other things.
I think it was around the Pokemon point.
Yeah, that's true. You got real excited for that. Now, Lux was telling me about his theory with that there was a scene in like the trailer or whatever where Ash actually holds up the tournament cup or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Ash never wins the tournament. So that's where a lot of the theory comes that Ash is no longer going to be the main character and it's just they're getting rid of him essentially and just going a totally different route. Comes from.
I mean, to be fair, it would be about time.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is what 20 years almost.
Isn't Origins?
Yeah.
Isn't Origins still going?
It's over 20 years. To my knowledge, Origins was a single season, and
it was only one season. Oh my God, Origins was so good because it actually kind of followed it followed the original manga a little bit more so than it followed the original manga.
It was like a rapid playthrough of the game.
Right. Yeah.
Almost. Because it didn't have like a direct story. It just it was like the bullet points of the game story.
But it was from Red's point of view. I don't know. Like the manga, the original manga was just blew me out of the water. Like was the Orange League really?
I definitely.
Yeah, I really liked the I thought that was really good. I would love them to do a continuation of that. What do they call the others? Gold and silver? Do they actually call them gold and silver?
I can't remember. It always seemed like it was more. It seemed like they labeled him off the leagues that he was in, not necessarily the games that they were on. Because well, no, that's not true. Because what is it? Sun and Moon was that the most recent one? Or no, the most recent one is the most recent anime is that's the Hawaii ones, right?
Yes.
The Orange League, the Orange League. Actually, I think that is Orange League is non-canon, isn't it?
Interesting. So that means Ash has never won in a canonical tournament.
Mm-hmm. In the anime, that is correct. In the manga, he has.
Baru says that that the majority anime following Ash isn't canon anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like if it's really disconcerting too, because like if you read the original manga in the magazine releases, which obviously predated the anime, and then the anime happened, it was like what is going on? Like it was really different.
So Gold and Silver's male character was Ethan. And the female character was Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also Silver, who was the rival.
Okay.
So Gold just got a name because they added genders.
Right, that's right. Yeah. Was that the generation that they added the genders to the?
Yeah, the second generation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they took forever doing it.
Well, yeah, no. Well, that's what I mean. Is like it's just been so long. And then what?
Yeah.
Sword and Shield, they haven't come out yet, right?
Sword and Shield? No, they haven't come out yet.
Because that's
because I know like Black and White, it was Hilda and something.
Hilda was the big one from Black and White.
And then Dawn?
Dawn was Dawn in Black and White?
No, Dawn was in Diamond Pearl Platinum.
Oh, okay.
I only know her because she was in the anime.
Oh, okay,
May
yeah.
Was in the anime.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hilda was in the anime too, wasn't she? Or
So
was she?
Yeah, I think she was. I don't know. I just know the name.
Hilda I know from the game because that and everyone seems to love her.
Hmm.
Can't imagine why, but
I actually don't know why.
no, it's just she was just drawn that way. It's just leave her alone. The thing about Pokemon Sword and Shield is the fact that I just can't get over the cover art of Sword. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
What I don't know what's the issue with Hilda then?
Oh, there's not an issue. It's just she's like one of the more provocatively drawn characters.
Is she?
Yeah, her booty shorts.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Dark Souls should sue. Yeah. Anon, can I introduce you to this thing called the internet?
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like, if anyone, like, it would have to be like Dawn, right? Because Dawn.
I'm trying to
like,
remember. Dawn. Was Dawn? Yeah, look this up.
I'm just saying, like, mini skirt is more.
I might be
than short. I'm not saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean. Then there was
doesn't
also
make sense. But like I know Hilda because I see people talk about Hilda all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wait a second. What is her deal? Now that I'm thinking about it, like it's like registering.
Now it's starting to be like, wait a second.
This is concerning.
Black flag. Rule 34 exists. Yes, it does. Because there's another one that, God, I used to pay attention to this nonsense.
Because
what is it? There's a link in the chat. It's just that Google Drive.
Yep. Just drop it right in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see.
Because aren't they on? Isn't Pokemon like on Gen 8 now? Something.
Red, gold, ruby, platinum, black, sun, sword. 7.
God,
yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh, XY. Yeah, it is 8.
Oh, okay, it is 8. Yeah, I forgot about X and Y. Because I didn't play X and Y. That was the one I skipped. Well, I also skipped Sun and Moon.
I didn't play it. I haven't played it. It got way too complicated, and I was like, this is too much work for me. Does Let's Go Is that its own?
Kanto.
No, that's Kanto. Right. That's right.
Yeah, it was Kanto. It was Kanto, and it was basically just a test model for a new Pokemon catching system. Where
for Pokemon Go, right?
Well, no, because it was like it used the Pokemon Go system, but a little bit different. Like Pokemon Go, you can curve the ball, and in this there's no. And instead of just wandering in grass and being like, I didn't get anything, you would be near the grass. You don't even need to be in the grass. They can leave the grass, and you see Pokemon. And if you want that Pokemon, you just run up to that Pokemon.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So like I would be like in one of the earlier areas, and I'm like, yeah, there's a bunch of fucking Pidgey here. Is that a fucking Chansey? And I'd run after the Chansey.
Get over here.
It took so many. I spent like an hour there when I saw the because it gives you such immediate hope where you can just be like, I can get that when you can see it. You know, you're not just like, I sure hope I get the Chansey this time. Nope. Sure hope I get the Chansey this time.
Well, because they also had the, isn't that the one that has the actual Pokeball controller that you could get?
Yeah.
And it had it had different Pokemon in it already.
No, it's just a Wiimote.
Oh, I thought I saw one that had like Mew in it or something.
I mean, they might have made special ones, but essentially it's just a Joy-Con.
Oh, okay.
It senses movement. It has 2 buttons.
Yeah, because it was something like, and then there was like the what was the other thing they have? Pre-order bonus is the Mew one. Okay. Target had one just sitting on its shelf that had the Mew, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that actually is cool.
There was like the band or something that had, I think that was for Pokemon Go though. They have like all the little auto catch stuff.
Yeah, that was the little Pokemon Go watch. Because when it originally released, that little watch would like do literally nothing for you, and everyone's like, wait a second, so what does this do? And it's like, well, it will vibrate when a Pokemon's near you.
Yay.
So what? Like, there's always Pokemon fucking near me. That's how this.
Bzz, 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 bzz. Oh no!
Oh my god! I gotta check my phone. Rattata. Oh. Yeah. But I would love it if they did. If they continued Origins, whether it be continuing Red, or if they were to just change the main character every time. Because, oh wait, am I thinking of Pokemon Origins? Because there was actually 2 series. There was that other series that deviated from Ash, and it followed some guy with a Typhlosion. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I do. Hang on.
That one sucked.
No, that's not the one I was thinking of. I mean,
okay.
I know which one you're talking, but I was thinking because the one Origins is the one that it's literally
the one where Blue got his ass kicked because he tried to ride a bike indoors.
It was amazing.
Should listen to his grandfather.
Don't do that.
Told you now it's not the time for that, you little piece of shit.
You're dumbass. Oh my god, where is it? Where's the... Oh my god. Anime, that's what I'm looking for. Pokemon Origins episodes. There are
if it did get continued,
4 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was it's not that it was rushed. It was just done.
No, quickly. it was done. It was, well, and the episodes themselves are like jam packed. Yeah, because like the first episode goes all the way from the very beginning to beating Brock.
Yeah,
which was
instead of like the very beginning to, hey, look, a Caterpie.
Yeah,
let's have an episode on that Caterpie.
Oh, that fucking Caterpie.
Oh, hey, look, that Caterpie is already a Metapod. Let's have an episode about that.
The Metapod gets stolen by another Pokemon. Yeah, because this is the red. This is when he like goes to like Pokemon Tower.
Yeah, and he saves the Cubone
Yeah, and
and
he
the
gets
whole
the Pokeflute,
Marowak.
which was a cool one because that was such a cool fight too. Was you got to see um
The Marowak
the
ghost.
Marowak ghost with the the headset.
The headset. Oh, the Sylph gear.
Yeah, yeah.
Sylph whatever.
Yeah, whatever it was. Because the
Sylph
ghost,
scope.
because it was haunting the shit out of Team Rocket.
Were Jesse and James in it? I can't even remember.
No, they did not have like this was legit Team Rocket.
Yeah, because it was like Jesse and James were in the manga, but
Yes.
so this was following the game's progression.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess technically speaking,
Because
from this perspective, Jesse and James would be so focused on Blue.
why would they be focused on Blue?
Because in the anime, they were focused on that character with the Pikachu whole thingamabopper.
Blue had a Pikachu?
Oh, I guess no, because in this one, this would be different than Ash. Because Blue, I thought Blue.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's not. It's Ash and Gary, Blue and Red. They're like entirely different people.
Yeah, they are different. That's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Pikachu and Eevee and Charmander and Squirtle.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot he got it. I forgot that.
Like
that's right. That's the ending of Origins. Is he goes after Mew?
Yeah, because
after capturing Mewtwo.
Yeah. Blue gets his ass kicked by Mewtwo, and he's like, "Oh wait, Mega Evolution."
That's right. Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. Because the Charizard uses the Blue Fire.
Yeah, he becomes Dragon type.
Oh my God, I forgot about that fight.
And that was a good fight. And then it's crazy. It just bothers me that he caught Mewtwo without even knowing that Mew existed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like that's technically what happens because Mew doesn't actually exist in the game or anything, but it's still like,
why do we call it Mewtwo?
Yeah, Mewtwo. That's an interesting name. Have you heard of Mew?
What? You're crazy.
How many Mews are there? It's like Eevees. You know what I learned? I found a Twitter account that like talks about Pokemon that never made it to the game.
Oh no.
And
oh no,
so
this is potentially dangerous.
no, there are so many Pokemon that just never made it. Like Leafeon. Leafeon was meant to be an Eevee evolved from a Leaf Stone in silver and gold.
Oh.
And Umbreon was meant to be a poison type, and it was evolved from a Poison Stone, but the Poison Stone got dropped, so they reworked it to being the Dark type, and they did Dark and Psychic instead of Poison, Psychic, and Grass.
Okay. That's always interesting. That's always interesting,
yeah.
like reading that type of
this, like, because it was like there were private demos that got leaked recently, like within the last like year they got leaked, so people are just like, oh my god, all this stuff that we've never known for 20 years. And like apparently Pikachu was supposed to have 3 evolutions in launch. It was gonna go Pikachu, Raichu, Gorochu, and Gorochu was supposed to be like a bigger Raichu with like horns and stuff and kind of look like a god of thunder. And
that would have been cool.
And so they had to drop Gorochu, and because of the decision to drop Gorochu, they were like, okay, Pikachu, Thunderstone, Raichu. And
shit! I just looked up Gorochu. That looks amazing,
right? But so since they decided to do Pikachu, Gorochu, Raichu, they were like, all right, well then Pichu. So they went the other end. And there's like 20 Pokemon at least that I saw that were supposed to be in the game as not even pre-evolutions, just first stage evolutions of all the Pokemon with 2 evolutions, like ones like Goldeen and shit. They were supposed to have this whatever fish, Goldeen Sea King. But it was like, we don't have space.
So we don't have space.
Sea King. And it's like so many Pokemon got dropped, and it was like because there's like there's 150 Pokemon, maybe there's like 40 families, and of the 40 families, maybe 10 of them have 3 evolutions, and it was supposed to be like 30 of them had 3 evolutions. It's crazy to know that.
He uses his tail as a weapon. That's amazing. What? Yamper. Yamper. What is the fuck is a Yamper? I'm looking this up. Yamper Pokemon.
Yamper? I didn't see that one.
Oh my god, it is. It's a Corgi.
Oh yeah, no, that's new.
Yeah, that's what Chinchilla's saying, is that they're excited that we're getting Yamper because it's a Corgi. It's so true. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
I love it. It's a bong. Oh no, the wheezing version.
It is not a bong. It's a smokestack.
Wheezing Pokemon bong is on Google.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe the meme is that it's a bong, but he's a smokestack. Like I just want people to understand that.
Short and Seal turned wheezing into it. I see both sides of this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
But so I just want to point out that those wheezings, the what is it? Galar wheezing?
Yeah, Galar wheezings.
They pump out fresh air. So
do they really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting twist.
They became a fairy type, and they inhale toxins and pump out fresh air.
So it's smog, toxic gas, fresh air.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because they're a poison fairy type. Which, that's a crazy typing, because I could have sworn poison was super effective against fairy, so what the fuck are they going to be weak against?
Nothing.
No, actually, what are they weak against? Because wheezing has levitate.
Bulbapedia, where'd you go? Well, they probably wouldn't have anything on it.
Okay, let's see. Fairy. Can I input?
Black Flag says Psychic and Steel.
Okay, yeah, Steel for sure.
Well, Steel would be Fairy, right?
Yeah, Steel is strong against Fairy. Psychic is not strong against Fairy, but it is strong against Poison. So Psychic and Fairy, or Steel and Fairy.
Yeah, Steel and Psychic. The two that you said, that one.
Oh, and fighting. I didn't realize Fairy is weak to fighting. Oh no, but Fairy is resistant to Steel. No, that's weak against.
That wouldn't make Fairy. Yeah, Fairy should be weak against Steel if it's mythologically connected.
Yeah, I got it reversed. So here's the Fairy tree. So Poison, Steel, and it's immune to dragon. So that Weezing's going to be immune to dragon, immune to ground because it's got levitate. Poison. So ground, it's got levitate, ice. So ice, steel. Wait, is that the right tree? No, that's flying. So ground immune, psychic weak, resistant to fighting. Oh fuck. So it's not it's resistant to fighting. It's probably normal effective against poison from poison. With levitate,
is this a
it's
new one or
to
is
ground.
this a returning one?
The Weezing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically returning because it's a Galar form.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's still a Weezing.
Oh, it's just literally a variation of Wheezing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a third evolution of Wheezing?
No, it's just it's
so gotcha.
Yeah. Like do you know Zigzagoons?
Mm-hmm.
Zigzagoons originated in the Galar region as dark normal type. And in the Galar region, they have a third evolution, which is Gene Simmons. I'm not kidding.
Oh, God, that's... Oh, shit, man. Golem's weird ass.
Yeah, steel electric golem. That's the
that is
terrifying.
That is
I forget
terrifying
what it's called.
to look at that thing.
Yeah.
The Alolan golem.
Alolan golem, yeah.
The muck. The muck is a rainbow.
I love the muck. The muck is so cool.
It's a rainbow muck.
Muck has always been one of my favorite favorite Pokemon. Just like as a poison type.
The Grimer one is funny too.
To see Muck with like crystal teeth and like this like rainbow
shit, he does
oil.
have crystal teeth, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, that's the best fucking Muck ever.
Jesus, Marowak has the freaking flaming
ghost fire type, completely retyped. Like I love it when they do that.
The Calarine Zigazoo. It's you're not lying. You're not lying.
People were curious like how he was gonna react, and he was like, "My kids play Pokemon. This is fucking awesome. They're gonna see me every time they play Pokemon."
Executor. Oh Jesus! The palm tree neck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Vulpix is I think it's ice. Vulpix is ice.
Yeah, it changed.
And Ninetales is ice ghost.
Ice fairy.
Ice fairy. Right. Thank you.
Because oh, it's so adorable. So is it? I guess it still technically has 9 tails. That's weird. Oh shit!
What?
Sandslash.
Yeah. Ice.
Steel? Yeah, but it looks like a jacked up Sonic the Hedgehog. The variations of these are just freaking Raticate.
Yeah, the dark type Raticate and
its cheeks are.
How have you not seen this?
Because I don't pay attention to Pokemon. I haven't looked at Pokemon in forever. Why is Raichu psychic? That's a terrifying thought.
Yeah. Only Raichu though. Pikachu didn't get to change.
Sandshrew looks like he's a Eskimo puffball.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. They were trying to make it like an egg.
Yeah, Raichu is a surfer bro. Yeah. Whereas Diglett doesn't change at all.
Diglett gets Fabio hair.
He gets
Doug Trio gets Fabio hair.
Yeah, the Doug Trio gets the Fabio hair. Diglett gets like the little sprig of hair. What the fuck happened to Meowth?
Become a dark type.
The Persian variation.
Yeah, the Persian's ridiculous.
The face is... Game Freak has the good drugs. Oh, God. The freaking hell? Lanu... Oh, that's the... Is it Lanoon? Is that the evolved form of Zigga, whatever?
Zigzagoon, Linoon, Obstagoon.
Oh, is it Gosh.
All right, well, I need to go.
Before we go down this rabbit hole any further, the stream, Wedge and Chilla, they need to share their drugs. Okay. All right, stream. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week. Anon, thank you again for joining us. Get some sleep.
Yeah. Yep. Bye.
Bye.